What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Hangar Bay. How you doing, Mrs. Two Star Wars nerds?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. I was just telling you in the background before we started, I saw you were wearing something.
Yes, got my gold merch.
That is much sharper than I thought it was going to be, man.
Yeah, I'm impressed actually with the quality.
Yeah, it looks good. The print looks like it came out good. I ordered a bunch of that stuff. I haven't gotten any of it yet.
Yeah, it came fast.
You guys you're West Coast or Central or East Coast or
What West Coast?
West Coast? Okay, Best Coast.
Yep.
So we are all here for Star Wars, obviously. Oh, well, we got somebody else, another member of the Boomer Council. Let's bring him in, Mr. Obsession.
Oh, hey
Hey,
guys.
Obsession.
How you doing? We got all West Coast people here today.
West Coast, Best Coast.
West Coast.
West Coast, Best
yep.
Coast. We just lost 14 viewers after that.
Oh, that's okay.
How's everybody doing today?
What's up, man?
Doing great.
Good.
Just watching some hockey in the background.
Are the Knights playing today?
Yeah.
Ooh.
NBC SN.
Nice. Man, chat's already like lit right now. What's going on, guys? I try to get to all these, I would, but there's so many different things. Yes, we are going. Braden, what's up, buddy? Patrick, Matt, always good to see you. Braden, Andrew, Solonic, everybody, all of the people that we love are here. I did not create a show format today for what we were going to talk about. So, Darth Daddio and I had come up with this idea that we were going to do a two Star Wars nerds prequel appreciation stream.
Awesome.
And I think that's a great way to go. This is just the beginning of it. We're going to do a live stream with the two Star Wars nerds, I think Friday,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. We're going to do a big stream, try to get a bunch of awesome YouTubers in there and talk about the prequels. But for tonight, while we have our little community, I thought it'd be awesome if we all just kind of talked about it. And yeah.
That'd be awesome.
What are you thinking, Obsession?
Prequels? I like prequels.
Yeah,
Prequels are
I
cool.
like the prequels too. Yeah, I think you were more OT trilogy, right?
I mean, yeah, if we're
time
talking movies,
time frame wise.
if we're talking movies, I prefer. I mean, time wise, I prefer the Clone Wars as a whole. But yeah, I mean, OG trilogy prequels are cool, sequels are cool. I love it all. But yes, and I downloaded some new sounds just for you today. So
oh my god, I can't wait to hear them.
Oh yes, so I'll plug them in when it's time. But yes, but yeah, I mean, I prefer Clone Wars time personally. If I'm looking at time frame, I think that has the most meat to the bone.
So in between 2 and 3, then.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Not so much 2, not so much 3.
Just I mean, I would say 2. I would say beginning of or end of 2 into end of 3.
Okay.
Because that's all Clone Wars time.
I hear you. Okay, so before we do all that, yes, some stuff was said today. Some interesting things. Look, it's speculation. I don't know.
I don't buy it.
Darth Daddio and I threw that video out. We were like, dude, this is like, we're not news people, and we don't want to be news people when it comes to YouTube, but it just seemed like something that should be talked about and something that should happen. I made a TikTok about it, and it's already at 5,250 views or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And all of mine have like 17. So people want to hear about this kind of stuff, but I don't want to, like dominate the Senate floor here, but it was speculation. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. What do you think?
Ladies first.
I always have believed that he's not really dead. I just don't necessarily know if I believe that Disney would do anything with him. Like, I feel like in George's mind, Mace survived.
Well, I mean, if it happened in George's mind, then it's in Dave's mind.
That's true.
On the forefront.
That is true. That's a good point.
So, yeah, I mean, Vader pushed Ahsoka off of the Sith temple on Malachor. She survived.
Right.
We've seen a lot of Jedi survive on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And him being so, powerful, I can't really see him just falling to his death, holding his arm.
Well, I was just on a video with Daryl the Derelict, and he said, "Do you guys not remember Petronaki Arena?" when he got set on fire and jumped 16 stories to the
Right.
dirt and was completely fine.
Exactly.
So, you
Exactly.
know,
But
when
I think I was watching that stream and I heard what you guys were saying. And I kind of feel like he doesn't, you know, it's not going to be, I mean, what is she talking about, the Mandalorian series, or is she talking about the Kenobi stuff?
when she was in the interview,
Yes.
she was talking about Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian.
Okay. So if they're saying that Mace has been spinning for 30 years while Luke comes out, I mean, he's got to feel all this going on. You know, he's so powerful like Yoda. I mean, Yoda went to Dagobah to hide because he felt ashamed.
Right.
And he knew that that was a place where they couldn't feel him. With all the dark energy, his little ball of light couldn't be sensed. Same thing with Ahsoka. She's hiding in the temple. The Mace has to be somewhere dark or completely shut himself off from the Force in order to not be sensed, especially by those two at that time. I could just imagine those two in front of a cauldron or doing some sorcery, you know, Vader just amplifying the Emperor's power and being able to feel anybody. And I just think Mace being so powerful can't hide.
And you put out a video that you thought Ahsoka was hiding in that temple in Malachor the entire time, right?
Yeah, and I'm in the process of doing another one. I have a friend that is a professional photographer, videographer. I'm actually having a set built for photos and giveaways and stuff like that. I have a friend of mine, a friend of a friend, who builds these amazing miniature sets, and he's going to do a three wall set, and we're going to shoot photos. But I digress. I'm going to do the cards that I have, all 10 cards, because I think we saw some of them in Rebels, but I think some of them are still coming up because Dave thinks so far in the future.
Right.
So yeah, I think she was hiding. There's a couple of, like, this card here. I don't know. Let me see if I can get a good angle on it. This is one that I think is that journey. She's wading through water. So maybe the bottom of the temple flooded and she's wading through it.
Could certainly be. That's a thought. That's a thought.
Yeah. I think a lot of the Jedi had to turn themselves off like Ahsoka did in the book, in the novel. And if Mace survived, I think he had to go somewhere equally as dark for
And
them.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, so where do you put that guy? And beyond that, how do those two come in contact with each other? Because I feel like Mace would want nothing to do with Boba, even if he even knew that he existed. I think it'd be more interesting if Mace had no idea who Boba was. Yeah. Boba shows up in Mandalorian armor and says, you know, blah, 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 you killed my father. And I don't remember who I was talking to, but he does the Thanos, like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Derelict. I was watching that stream earlier.
Yeah, that was that. I mean, that's I don't know. Keely, what's your ideal meeting between Mace and Boba?
I think Boba would be coming for revenge, and I think Mace wouldn't know. Like, it would kind of be out of nowhere to him because I don't think he necessarily knows about Boba. The thing that I'm trying to process in my mind is that does Boba have a chance against, like, Mace Windu, this powerful Jedi? Because they're both older. Mace has the Force, but
Django did. I mean, Django
Boba's
put up a fight to Obi.
That's true.
Django killed 5 Jedi by himself.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but Django's a badass.
He is.
And this is the 2.0 version. This is the better. You know, he was taught from a young age. We don't really know when Django really started. I mean, yeah, I guess he did with the who am I thinking of? The Mandalorians, the Death Watch, you know. But I don't think he had the training. I mean, think about it. When we first saw Boba, he was like 9-10 years old.
Yeah.
But he was also sitting in Slave One, like, releasing charges. I mean, like, the kid knew what was going, and he had a criminal empire by the time he was like 8.
That's what I'm saying. He was the better of Jango Fett and more ruthless. If you look at some of these comics and stuff where Django and him are betrayed by some other bounty hunters, and Boba's the one that's like, off with the heads, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
I think Boba's more ruthless, and it wouldn't be even a fair. I think they're equally matched because
So
he's
who
Jedi.
would you rather see die if you had to pick one between Boba and Mace? Keely, which one?
Who would I rather see die?
Yeah, if you had to pick
Oh my
one, who would die?
goodness.
Because I mean, those would be two characters that have come back from death, basically.
Yeah. Be quite the showdown.
Yeah.
I think it'd be I love Mace, but I think I would want Boba to win.
Okay, so Boba kills Mace.
Yeah.
Obsession.
I mean, I think I think it's one of those stalemate options to a season finale. You know, I think it's one of those Rey, Kylo across a cavern, or you know, Luke letting go of the in the exhaust tower. You know,
Right.
I could see it more being like that. You know, one besting the other. Maybe Boba besting Mace without
But
his
no deaths, just the
but no
cliffhanger
death. I don't
portion
think
of
so.
it.
Especially the
I
first
like
season.
that.
Especially the first season. I can't see the first season them just being like, "Oh, here's two awesome characters. We want to." There's one of them, and you're out. You know, that's kind of
Yeah.
look what they did with Fennec.
Yeah, but I mean, that would be where we keep saying we want to see something heavy. We want to see something heavy. I think giving Mace a proper death, or even Boba a proper death. The problem is, I don't want Boba to die. I mean,
If they're gonna retcon these
he's
characters,
my guy.
if they're gonna retcon these characters,
What is thy bidding,
My master.
if they're gonna retcon these characters, they want to make some money off them first. So you got to sell some Mace lightsabers. You got to sell some Boba blasters.
They're already selling that stuff though. Boba blasters they don't have, but I want one. Bad.
Oh, dude, bad, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that they got to sell some. They got to sell some more product and get them in video games and stuff before they kibosh everybody.
Right.
Do you think one has to die? Do you think we could keep both alive?
I mean, you could, but it just feels dragged out at that point. I mean, if they're really going to fight and they're going to try to kill each other, somebody's got to go.
Unless it's one of those, you know, Boba's built his syndicate and Mace has, you know, found Luke during this time and started the new, you know, we don't know if Mace was there during the Luke New Order. So maybe Mace was there to guide him, but not be part of it because
that's something I wouldn't want. I don't want to see Mace and Luke talk to each other.
But they might because he knows about Ahsoka. He knows that was my father's apprentice. It's not just that was, you know, so he knows a lot. That how does Luke know all this without somebody that was there?
Right.
So maybe it's going to be one of these, you know, because they've been saying it for a while, Dave and Favreau, they're going to do a Marvel-esque build.
Right.
Where you have these people.
Everybody comes together.
Right. And whether that's another, you know, Mandalorian war where we have people choosing sides on the Mandalorian war, which is what I want to see. I don't want to see that. I want to see them go back to Mandalore and see that it was all propaganda, that Mandalore is perfectly green and healthy and that the Empire just wanted to keep mining Beskar. And they go back for a huge civil war, you know, for the crown.
But I mean, Din has the Darksaber. Can there be a civil war if he holds the mantle of Mandalore?
I mean, Sabine fought who's my guy? Who's my Mandalorian Death Watch leader? Chat, help me out. Damn. They fought for the right of Mandalore, Sabine and Homeboy.
Vizsla?
Are you talking about Pre-Vizsla?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so they have fought.
Who's Jon Favreau, by the way?
Yeah, dude. So I mean, I could see them doing a Mandalorian. You know, you're not a real Mandalorian. You know that whole conversation again. You know, because Boba wants no part of that because they look at him as a clone. They don't look at him as Mandalorian at all. So he wants to go rebuild a syndicate.
And I think Din himself is so kind of trapped in his Death Watch way of thinking. But to be fair, at the end of the season, he had his helmet off. and somebody touched his face. I mean, I know it was like the child and everything, but that's a cool idea. Thinking, maybe Ahsoka winds up on opposite ends of Din Djarin and they're fighting this war for Mandalore.
Well, I mean, you got to think that Bo had to feel pretty good at the end of that when he takes his helmet off, because she's trying to convert him, right? He's trying to stay true to the old way,
Right.
and he has to make those choices on the Imperial base to put his face in the registry, which he didn't want to do, and then at the end there, so she's getting more of what she wants, aside from the fact that he has the Darksaber. She's getting a leader that she needs, because she's tried it twice. I don't think she can do it. So
she doesn't want him to do it though. She wants that saber. Do you remember the look on her face when he walked in with that saber? She's like,
yeah, no, she's pissed. But at the
Yeah.
same time, you might see that turn, because at the end there, he does take his helmet off, and he is more going with her way rather than the old way. So it's a toss-up. She could totally turn around and be like, cool, you're going to lead us because I saw you sacrifice yourself down the hallway with a bunch of detonators. I mean, there's a lot of room.
Yeah, Keely, I'm going to need you to quiet down a little bit.
Yes, Keely.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's just kind of dominating the stream here. I mean, what do you think?
About what in particular? That was a lot.
Honestly, we're just like spouting anything that comes out of our brains. So just like vomit all of your Star Wars thoughts.
Okay.
And before you start, we have to know in the chat, actually, Keely converted Darth Daddio. Okay. Let's get this right. Keely was the instigator for Two Star Wars Nerds. I don't mean to put you on blast there, Mr. Two Star Wars Nerd, but you're here because of her. So she's the origin. Give us what you really feel
About this. I mean, that's Star Wars is such a broad topic. So when you just say anything, I can go anywhere.
Mason Mandalorian.
Yeah, you literally
stay,
can. You can
stay
go
on the Mason
absolutely anywhere.
Mandalorian.
Conversation.
You can talk about Jar Jar's skin color, his tanning routine. I mean, like, it's kind of up to you.
Your maintenance. I mean,
I don't hate Jar Jar. I'll say that. Not my favorite, but I don't hate him. She is the real nerd. Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
You guys are adorable.
With Mace and Mando, even as you guys were talking, I was thinking if Mace did survive, which I do think he did, whether we see him or not, we could potentially, like you said, Luke's around, Ahsoka's around. So then if Boba does come, he could potentially have other Jedi ally as well.
Boba would have Jedi allies. Is that what you're saying?
No, Mace.
Oh, Mace would have Jedi allies. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
I mean, I would, because Boba doesn't like Luke either.
Right.
So that's...
Well, Boba doesn't like any Jedi.
He doesn't really like anyone but himself. And maybe Fennec a little bit.
Definitely likes Fennec for sure. But also, doesn't Mace, like, I would assume Mace doesn't know that anybody else is rolling around at this point. He'd be so shut off. If he knew that Yoda was on Dagobah, he would have gone and talked to him.
Do you think he knows that Padme was pregnant and about Luke and possibly Leia?
I don't know. I feel like he was so blinded by
He was
this,
arrogant.
like, yeah. He was
They were
super
arrogant.
Luke was
arrogant.
very arrogant. Yeah.
Right? They were all, I mean, that's what they said. They were all arrogant in their, even Luke said it. In the height of the order, their arrogance blinded them.
Yeah.
Right.
I honestly think it's Grogu that drags Mace out. I think Grogu on the stone and all of that power because he trained him, right?
Yeah.
Like all of the masters trained Grogu because he was to be the next. Because I think that there's a Yoda species every millennia to carry on the legacy, right? Because they live so
Like they're
long.
they're the keepers.
Yeah, they're the keepers of the light, right? And
Okay.
so Yoda's time was ending, so his replacement was born, whether by spontaneous combustion or, Yaddle and Yoda get it on, whatever it was.
However that works.
Eggs, reptilian, whatever. But I think that they all trained him to give him the most knowledge, and that when he sat back on that stone and reconnected, that all of the Jedi felt it, right? Ahsoka was probably on a ship somewhere going, oh, they made it.
What was that?
You know, I
Yeah.
wonder who's going to go. And I bet you all of them kind of converge, like crashing the boards. And then Luke just happened to find him first.
And then that would make sense for the big end game finale if all
Everybody
these
shows
Jedi
up.
got
Oh
That'd
my
be so
god!
cool.
Can you imagine?
I'm so excited if
Oh
that's
my
where we're
god!
going.
Here, this one's for you.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
So like,
That's
I got a
beautiful.
bunch of them today.
It's beautiful.
That's are you doing that on the switcher?
Yeah, I'm doing it on my mixer. Like I said, as soon as we get you to that bigger number, we're gonna upgrade your board.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
So
so we'll go into that later. But yeah, I think that's why Mace. I think we're gonna, we could see some other Jedi show up, and that's maybe what really starts Luke's temple is Grogu.
yeah, could
I
be
like
a
that.
thing. And there's some interest. C. Brown made a good point here that Mace would be completely different after witnessing the return of the Sith and fighting and almost being killed by a Sith Lord. Maybe he would start to kind of grasp a little bit more of the dark. What if they turned Mace into a bad guy?
And he's the big bad.
I love that. Stop it right now and take my money.
That could be cool.
That might be,
Could be
dude.
cool.
That might be a hook. I think maybe we're gonna have to do a video on that.
Like, what if he was willing to accept the dark to ensure the light continued? You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I'm willing to ravage my body and kill the Sith to ensure that the light can live, which isn't what he sounds like. But
I hate this idea, but I'm about to spit it out of my mouth anyway. Because I think you were talking to Homeboy earlier, and he was saying, well, what if he's trapped under the temple for 30 years? And I was like sitting there going, oh, I hate that idea. But now it's a dark temple, right?
Right.
So what if he finds his way down there like Ahsoka to learn about the dark side, but unlike her, it takes him. Right. If Ahsoka fought it for 20 years or whatever it was. What if Mace didn't and just absorbed all that darkness?
Thoughts, Kelly?
I feel like Mace too could have some vengeance in him that could pull him into that dark place as well. Like he's probably pretty pissed off. Being
Without
windows.
30 years without a mitt. You got
so
one mitt, that's it.
I think that'll push him too. And he's like knowing that he didn't ever fully trust Palpatine, I don't think, but knowing that they were betrayed and what happened, I bet he's pretty upset, and that could pull him, I definitely think, to the dark side.
Well, they spit in his face. They spit in his face. He sat there and watched it for years.
Yeah.
Right in front of me. You conned. Like, there's nothing worse than figuring out you were conned, right?
Yeah.
A Sith Lord?
Wait.
Like,
this dude took
oh,
over
hell
under
no.
my watch.
Yep.
And I lost my mitt.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'd be pissed off too, and you can tell Windu's the kind of guy who doesn't like to be pissed off, or he's just really good at it. You know, I could totally see him kind of, if he knows the temple is gone, and I'm not saying he's going to become a Sith Lord, because that was something that came up in the chat, was like, I don't think Mace would become a Sith or a bad guy. I get that, but somebody else said, bam, right there. I could see him becoming an extremist. That's something I totally believe in, because he was so fervently, like, I mean, about the Jedi code, and he was so strict about it. And then the Jedi are gone. You know, he's been played. A Sith Lord is ruling the galaxy. I could see him being absolutely ruthless in everything that he does.
I told you so right there, right? Because he was always saying, like, don't train this kid from Jump Street. No, you're not to be trained. No.
Right.
And he kept saying it. No, can he be trusted? Should we put those two together? Is that a good idea? He kept trying to tell everybody, and the I told you so at the end, walking around a Sith temple for 30 years going, I told him. I done told him, you know.
Right.
Like,
oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
How are you doing? We haven't seen this guy for a long time. This Nathan Emmert here was actually the first X-Wing fan is the first guy I talked to. So good to see you again, man. We were just talking about you the other day. I hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you here. Sorry to break that up. But yeah, that's certainly an interesting aspect that Mace could be not only alive but on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I do agree, though. I don't necessarily think he'd be a Sith Lord or anything. I
No,
think it'd be more
gosh,
like
no.
a Saw Gerrera thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and
he's
he would use that Vapod, that darkness, to just like wreak havoc on his enemies. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a good comment. Obsession, I just want to hear what's coming because I know it's broiling inside your, like, I'm willing to keep things quiet so I can hear what's going on in your brain because I know there's something there.
well, I mean, I can kind of dig a dark side Mace Windu. I can kind of dig a after the Empire, everything's scattered, right? Snoke and Ren are starting to somewhere in that timeline in between the two are in the back burner. There's clones being born, exegals happening,
Right.
and the dark side looks like it's dormant. So why not? Maybe not a Sith Lord, but definitely a. You know, at this point, they're more Force users, right? The Force is like an enigma at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was reading the other day about the Moff being frightened of Luke Skywalker because he was a myth. He was like no one had seen the Force being used, and then here comes this kid that takes 2 Death Stars, kills the Emperor, takes out Vader in one adolescent 20s, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He shows up in the X-wing that took down both Death Stars,
Right.
and freaked out, right? And so there's a big hole where the Force was. So people don't even, like, the Mandalorian didn't even know what it was. Oh, the enemies of old, right? They don't even really know about it. So
they made a video about that. It's 20 minutes of Din Djarin not knowing he's in Star Wars.
yeah.
It's just like it's like, what? Are you a Jedi? What do you mean Jedis? It's part of your history. You know that the Jedi Mandalorians, like, you guys, that's whatever. I'm not gonna pick that apart.
Well, but I mean, for him, it's not, because for him it was the Empire. It was his enemy was the Empire, right? Because he was recovered at the end of the Clone War, and he hates machines, right? So he really doesn't know, because, like I said, during that whole time, the Jedi are an enigma. The whole OG series, we know about the Force,
yeah,
Right.
but nobody else knows about the Force, because all the Jedi are said to be dead. Right. Vader's still looking for Kenobi because he's like a dog with a bone. I got to see the body. Show me the lightsaber, right?
And
like,
truly do. Yeah, he's like, I need to see the body.
See it, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's hustling Ahsoka for. Show me where the other Jedi are. Take me to them. If you won't, the boy will, right? Like, he's on the hunt. And so the Force is an enigma to everybody. They don't know what it is. So for Mace to come out of nowhere with the Force, people would just be like, oh, you mean that sorcerer, that black sorcerer back there, that
Right.
the metal eye and the one arm? Yeah, he's back there lifting some rocks.
Real quick, I just wanted to shout this guy out, Daryl from EBN. But I sent you the link in your DMs if you want to pop on and say what's up. You are more than welcome, and congratulations on your first live stream. I was so happy to be a part of it. Awesome. Blue, wait, Blue's here? Oh, I'm looking at him backstage. It looks like he's doing some crazy stuff. We're gonna add him in anyways, just because I love this guy. Hello there.
Hello, Poppet.
The echo is so real, Blue. Do you not own headphones? Do they not sell headphones in the UK?
Oh my God, Sam, back off! Right, listen, my head.
All right then. No, I don't want to hear it. Get your headphones.
That's awesome.
Listen, Mike, go get yourself another cheeseburger.
You look like me on the Star Wars stream that I started on. You look like X-Wing on Theory stream. Are you wearing a New York hat too?
That's awesome. Yes, sir. Well, it's
This
not blue.
guy.
So
That could be a Neil Young hat. You
Hello,
don't
other
know.
people.
It could be. Well, hello from the UK. It's what, 3 o'clock in the morning there? Hello from the UK. It's 3 o'clock in the morning there.
Dude, bro. I'm making a cup of tea. Go. If I mute my mic, I apologize.
Of course you're making a cup of tea. What else would you be doing, mate? I love you. Okay, you're skipping out really bad, so we're gonna pull you out. But thank you so much for showing up, man. I mean, this is like, he's like one of the OGs of the channel. That was awesome. Freaking blue. Awesome. Oh man. Okay. We can bring in somebody else here. We got Aiden in.
Yo, what's up?
Aiden.
What's up, Aiden?
How's it going? Huh?
Oh, you know.
All right.
Mom! Meatloaf!
Mom, I'm on the phone.
What do you think about this whole Mace Windu
All right.
shenanigans?
So I've
He's
been
ready.
studying a ton. I am ready. I was like, came up with this idea. I wouldn't say came up with it, but like, I thought of this a little earlier. But when you guys were talking about Mace and stuff, I've been doing a lot of research lately on like the philosophies of Star Wars. And if you look at that scene where Anakin throws Mace out the window, well, Palpatine throws Mace out the window, Anakin cuts off his hand. If you look at that from like a mathematical and a like philosophical standpoint, I fully believe that George Lucas used concepts of game theory building up to that whole moment. And like game theory is pretty much like, how do I explain this? It's like the study of mathematical models and the way people interact, and like it's basically to seek the optimal outcome for themselves. And it's basically used in like economics and political science and among other things. But
What
there's
the
this
hell
one-
are you talking about?
I'm getting to my point, but there's this one game theory game, and it's called the Shrinking Pie game. And the idea is you
Okay.
have these two kids with an ice cream pie that's quickly melting. And the longer they wait to figure out how to divide that pie, the less overall pie they have left to eat. And it's basically to express the idea that waiting is costly. And the Jedi throughout the whole prequel trilogy just keep waiting. They keep saying, "Oh, our judgment is clouded by the dark side. We don't
Okay.
know who the Sith Lord is." And
Okay.
I feel like they did it to a point where it become really costly because Mace didn't wait for Yoda to show up at the Jedi Temple. He just run and rush the Chancellor. And that's like, I would say his arrogance blinds him. And basically that was like his downfall because he didn't really think things through. He was like, "All right, I'm the second in command here, second Grand Master. I got this. I mean, I have like my boys over here. We're gonna go and rush the Chancellor. Shouldn't be a problem at all." And then the Chancellor's like, boom, secret Sith Lord here, and he just wipes all of out. And he just wipes.
Did you read the novelization?
He just wipes all his buddies out. And yes, but
Because I
basically,
feel like in the novelization, it's not that quick. Like they talk about it for a minute. They talk about who's best for the job, what people should we bring, and it's not so quick and crazy as that. I feel like it's a little bit slower.
I'm going based off the just the film here. Like you're
Okay.
100%
Still, I
correct.
mean, you still have that conversation amongst the master at some point. Anakin tells Mace, and it's not like there's a 5-pack of homies rolling Mace deep and they're ready to go. It's not like
His
it's
homies.
Right.
he obviously called a meeting. They picked teams, and everybody scattered. It just seems. I agree. I think that would have been a scene to show, even just a quick overview with Anakin in the corner looking pissed off because he's not going. But yeah, that was definitely a conversation had with whatever masters, and I think he didn't necessarily jump. I think that they had to make a decision then because Grievous had just been killed, and he was about to do something anyway. So they felt like they kind of had to move. They didn't have time for Yoda to shoot back.
We got some more community members here that are looking,
Yo, what's
itching,
up, Charlie?
chomping at the bit that want to come in and say what's up.
How's it going?
We've got Germany and the West Virginia Ninja popping in. Strike, how are you still awake?
I'm not going to talk about it.
What's going on, guys?
Not much, just getting home hearing about a little certain actress let slip about maybe possible person that might return. or may
It's
have not been dead
interesting.
this entire time.
Very interesting. Strike, what are your thoughts on this whole Mace Windu possibly returning thing? Because it's all hinged on speculation.
Right. I mean, there is some interesting stuff that could happen with like Mace being alive still. I mean, I've always been like a Boba enthusiast, let's put it that way. So, I mean, like maybe like having it go full circle in some sort of way that they meet up again and they basically like, yeah, you killed my father. Some sort of type of scenario, standoff in that way, I think could be pretty dope.
Keely, what do you think about them teaming up?
Mace and Boba?
Mace and Boba teaming up.
I think Mace could be down for that.
You think so?
I think he would be more likely than Boba because Boba saw him.
Yeah, no hard feelings between Mace and Windu, but hard feelings between Boba and Mace.
Yeah. So I mean, it depends on, I guess, who's the big bad and what side they're on. Like, if everyone's like, "Hey, we just need to work together to defeat this guy, and then we'll deal with our stuff after." I don't know if it could be something like that, but besides that, I can't see them teaming up.
What about this? What about if they're planning to do this big, like, Marvel-esque war, this endgame deal? It all boils down to who's going to get Mandalore. And you have Din Djarin leaving Death Watch. We have more people that are going to be introduced from Death Watch, and it winds up like the Death Watch army versus Din Djarin and his Jedi and everybody on one big final huge confrontation on Mandalore. Would you guys be down for that?
Where's the
I'm
Moff
not
fit
going to
in
say
though?
no.
A large, colossal fight.
Well,
most identical to the Marvel thing than it's Star Wars.
Almost, but Thrawn would be Thanos basically, and he would be backing the other side.
So pretty much like an Independence Day type thing, except everybody's just going and
scorched earth. Yeah, scorched earth. Because I mean, Thrawn is coming. We know Thrawn's coming.
Yeah.
Well, and the question is, and it was never really answered, is Thrawn slightly force sensitive? Right. I mean, we know he's got that, he's got that inkling, no one's ever outright said it.
He knows how to fight too. The new books, and also even in the Rebels, he was sparring with the the Phase 1 Death Troopers? No, Dark Troopers, that's right. And also in the books, the first one that they redid, he Eli Vanto and him were at the Imperial Academy. And
I think of you as Eli Vanto constantly, Charlie. Have you read the audiobooks? You guys sound exactly the same. The audiobooks. Have you listened to the audiobooks?
Oh yeah, I listened, read. I actually got done with SharePoint not too long ago. I was just brushing up to the new stuff happening. Yeah. I love Matthew Stubbert, man. Because that was another thing where I was like, I don't know how that would go. Because if Boba and Mace seen each other last time they seen each other, spoilers for those who hadn't seen episode 2. I don't know how that would go. I mean, here's the thing. It's fairly, everybody knows that Mace will return in some other form, but shape or fashion against Lord Vader, shards of past. But here's Tamori Morrison, who plays Boba Fett, Jango Fett, is Amari. And he loves to do his own stuff. So everything that you see him do, the past season where he had like the Gillespie stick and doing that was him.
Gaffy.
There you go. He did Spartacus, vastly underrated show. Highly recommend it. It's awesome. Played Dottore in that. So that's a big name to get back in Star Wars, and hadn't seen him since the Attack of the Clones. Then you go over to Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson, another big name, and his character with the whole, like you said earlier. Again, I was listening driving. The Vapad, the pod, however you want to pronounce it. During Revenge of the Sith, the novel, I've heard it too. So again, you can abridge and back if I messed something up. Is after they learned of the shadow and everything, Palpatine, everything was a blur. A lot got cut out of that, of the thing. All Anakin could see was a haze of purple and red and crimson, and just the whole entire thing was just like, if Anakin being the chosen one could not see that, and also at the time it was a complete loop. It was a filtering through each other through the fight.
Right.
So this entire time he's also talking about he loves the Republic, and everything like that. Mace loves the Republic. That's his one love that it talked about in the inner monologue.
I don't think that's 100% true, though. Honestly, I mean, like Mace says that Windu is. Mace says that Windu is. Mace says that
I get you.
Says that the Republic is everything that he stands for, but I don't believe that. I think he had a fanatical love for the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
And the Republic was just kind of like this sidebar for him. He really wanted to see the Jedi be, I'm not going to say he wants to see it be the ruling, class, but he believes so strongly in it that he wanted them to be the people that made the decisions. Not that they're going to take over the Senate, do anything like that, but he thought he was so wise. He thought he had all the answers. He didn't believe that anything anybody else was doing was right.
Yes, and 100% last thing, and I'll shut up. But no, it's
you're in the community, bro. You're good.
No, that's okay, brother. In the thing, it's also he's channeling his inner darkness through his form and everything. Here's the thing: now that that's gone, and if he did, quote unquote, survive, how much good's left, and is he going to be even more irritated after all this time, and then seeing Boba all these years later? I don't want to see any of those actors go, but
yeah, no, we don't want to see anybody die.
Very intense moment if that happens.
But I did want to touch on this from Mr. Two Star Wars Nerds, because he's not here in the live with us, but he's here in spirit and definitely here in the chat. This is an interesting one because anybody who's read any of the Thrawn stuff knows that Yuuzhan Vong were big in the EU, but then they kind of got shifted to the Grisk when we started looking at the Thrawn trilogy and what he was focused on. I don't think they're going to do the Yuuzhan Vong War because that was really focused on kind of Skywalker lineage family and how they reacted to the Yuuzhan Vong War. Whereas when we look at the Grisk, that's kind of a more open storyline. In terms of stuff you can touch and play with without messing with the Skywalker trilogy or adding sons or cousins or anything like that from Luke or anybody. So, Keely, I want to start with you. Have you read any of that stuff? Any of the Thrawn stuff that you kind of know the Grisk at all? Or
no, I haven't yet. We just now started getting into the books, and we just ordered a bunch of Star Wars books. So the books are new to me. So I'm not a full Star Wars nerd yet.
We're all full Star Wars nerds. We wouldn't be on here if we weren't all full Star Wars nerds.
Your knowledge is limited does not mean you are not one of us.
Thank you. I'm aware of this, but yeah, I haven't read, so I probably don't have much to add on the book.
Well, it's a really good thing to read. I think it's an awesome thing to read because, like I was saying earlier, it just kind of. The reason Thrawn joined the Empire was because of the Grisk. It was this big thing that was brewing in the background, and he needed the power that the Ascendancy didn't have to defend against the Grisk. And that's why he did what he did. So it's interesting to read. Did anybody here read them?
Bits and pieces. I'm still behind one book.
I'm still a loner.
No worries. No worries.
Okay. Well, that's not okay. That's not the topic we talk about.
So we're still all even ground here.
There you go.
and to checkmate that, you can just watch Theory's take on it. You don't even have to read them because he breaks them down with like voices.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
so
true.
good.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And I have seen some of his stuff, so I have a small understanding.
You've seen some of Theory's stuff?
Well, on the book stuff. Like this
I got
stuff.
you.
I've seen
I
a
got
lot
you.
of
The
theories.
comic ones are awesome because he does the voices and like he can
Yeah.
be a therapist.
Those are
Like
dope.
he's so good at it. It's
He's
crazy.
so
Yeah.
talented. It's crazy.
I
The
mean,
Vader audio that he did, was it last year? And he
Yeah.
finally bridged all of it combined together, which is like 2 hours. Good
the
God.
21 to 25
Yeah,
comic,
that one.
yeah, so good.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's so good. I was watching his stream today. I was bummed that I couldn't watch it real time, but yeah, he's a machine. I mean, I know he's got a team that's doing stuff with him, and he's got people's because he's making monies. But yeah, I mean, he's a machine. Even though just to do the VO work, just to sit in the lab and sit there with screen time, like
Yeah.
he's a machine. Just a machine.
Yeah.
Very 100% true.
Okay, so next topic. Book of Boba Fett predictions. So if we had to get rid of Mace Windu, because we don't even know if that's going to be a thing, what do you guys want to see in the Book of Boba? Do you think it's going to be like everybody's talking about Lando Calrissian, how it would be flashbacks, and Billy D. Williams would be saying, "This is what I did when I was a kid," and then it would be remind me of his name.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover,
Nice.
like acting out the adventures. Book of Boba Fett, do you think we're going to see his early life, and we're going to see like the battered armor and why he got shot in the crotch and the head and everything, or what?
I would just like to see how he got out of the pit, the Sarlacc pit. For
Well, I think
one.
we're going to see that.
I think that's what they're going to touch on.
That's my big one.
That's the
Because,
like,
like,
I
that's
see
the big
that,
thing.
I'll be so happy.
I think you're gonna they're gonna explore how his armor ended up with the Jawas, for sure. Maybe rescuing Fennec and repairing her scene for sure, 100%. But then I mean, what is he doing? Is he building a new empire, a new bounty hunters guild? Right? Is he taking over a piece of the guild in Bib's stead?
Yeah.
I feel like he holds no love for Bib, clearly, by the way he ended the last one.
Yeah. Understatement.
There was definitely a big statement there when he hit him up.
Maybe we'll see a falling out. Maybe he comes back after the Sarlacc pit, comes to Jabba's palace. Jabba's dead, and Bib's like, "Kick rocks, I'm in charge," and throws him out.
Right.
There's a little bit of vengeance there to just shoot him and mine.
Yeah, and I mean, was Bib on the skiff? Wasn't Bib on the skiff when it exploded?
That's something I'd have to go and ask Sam Witwer. That dude's a walking encyclopedia of Star Wars.
Well, I went and rewatched it, and I'm like, I don't remember seeing Bib on the skiff in that movie. I remember everybody on the skiff, and I don't remember Bib being on the skiff. So maybe he finds out, because he seems like a weasel. He's a salacious crumb in and of himself. He hears Boba dies, and he's like, gay, and just like goes and sits in Boba's chair.
You see Leia choking your boss in her bikini with her chain, and you're like, you see his tail flap, and you're like, checkmate, I'm out. Let's jump off this barge. I got to get out of here right now.
Somehow Boba survived.
Yeah.
Not even that Boba survived. It's like, oh, Jabba's dead. I'm gonna take his all of his stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so last Bib was seen when Luke was on the plank above the Sarlacc.
Oh, yeah, he did peek his head out, didn't he? Yeah, he did. I remember this. Yeah, right before Luke, does the and everything. Not gonna say that for copyrights. But
I don't think they're gonna copyright you.
I know, but I don't want to do that to you. You're too much
Form of a review.
You're too much of a good person. I will not do that. But no, yeah, he sticks his head out because R2 shoots the thing. Things go crazy, and I just remember it was, Han Solo started, shooting, and then you see it's a brief little sight of Bib Fortuna going like, and that's it. That's literally it. So you have no idea what happened after that.
Okay.
I'm watching the scene right now. Hold on.
Yeah, it's right after the lightsaber goes up, and then
Actually, I like this one. So what if he makes like a what was the movie where like Jean-Claude Van Damme and who was the governor of California? I can't remember his freaking name.
Oh,
right now.
Schwarzenegger.
Everybody, they got together and they made that movie called like The Untouchables or something like that.
Yeah, love that.
What if they did that for all the old bounty hunters?
Oh no, I'd pay money
Yes.
to watch that. That'd be amazing.
So Boba puts out on the HoloNet like, I need my old friends. And they all get together and you see everybody, Bosk and Dengar, everybody's all together. I'd be Expendables. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
If they're gonna do stuff like that, I got to see Cad Bane. I got to see the Cad Bane showdown.
Oh,
right. The
I
bolt.
love
That was
Cad
in the last comment. Did you see that?
I got to see it. No, I didn't see it. I'm over here trying to find Bib in the Return of the Jedi.
Boba versus Cad.
Yeah, you got to see that. If they're
Yes.
gonna do any flashbacks, you got to do a live action Cad Bane, and you got to have that scene so we see
That
him
would be
dropped
cool.
and bolt to the head, and you see.
Yeah.
The head.
Here's my solution for that, brother. All right, so look, everybody knows Daniel Logan as well wants to return. He's even said that he's done audio for young Boba, right? How's this? How about maybe first you want to, how many seasons is there going to be a Book of Boba? Have they announced yet or just still up in the air?
We just have the one.
Okay. So how's this? How's about he's doing his thing in the pilot episode, whatever it may be or whatever he's doing. What if for some reason in the mid part of the episode looks down at something, picks it up, flashback, young Boba Fett, you get to see his rise and you get to see the live action version of how he got the scar or the dent in his helmet, and you get that Cad Bane story from young Daniel Logan, then go back to the present time.
That could be cool.
That'd be cool.
I feel like Logan's he's got to be in his 20s now, I think.
I
think he's in his 20s.
He's his 30s. Yeah.
He's in his 30s?
He might.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
how
makes
old
sense
was he in
because
episode 2. I mean,
I was a youngin and he was a youngin at the same time. I thought he was younger than me when I was watching it, though.
Yeah, I don't see Bib on that ship at all, to be honest.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me see.
I'm pretty sure, buddy,
It
that
might have been one of the special editions, maybe.
I was gonna say like I don't because I remember there were the I call them wrinkle faces. I can't remember their species. Anyway.
Yes. He got listen, he got lucky. He got really lucky.
he got lucky.
Maybe he got pushed off like the droids and ended up feet up and then woke up like, oh, I don't know what happened.
Or he was
Strike.
just a weasel.
Strike, we never got your favorite saying in German for
yeah.
Star Wars.
Didn't want to interrupt.
I've not been thinking about it this entire time, but
I have not been thinking about it either. Only one comes to my mind where I remember like reading comments about, ooh, like it's so much longer than the English version, and that's the classic in Revenge of the Sith, the hello there. And in German, it's like so long, but it's like so fast, so it's hallo, wie geht's denn so?
Hallo, wie geht's denn so? Hallo, Leute.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Anybody else have does anybody else speak a different language?
Oh man, I'm a mixed breed of everything. Irish,
Nope.
Klingon count?
German, dear God.
He speaks fluent ninja.
Native American. Sprechen Sie Deutsch wunderbar. It's about
Strike's like, okay, good for you guys.
My phone, all the languages.
right on. Spidey, I know you. Well, there we go. Spidey, I know you got some amazing stuff. The Amazing Spider-Man himself. You go. You're awesome. You're Spider-Man. Go, man.
Dude,
I
he's
only
back.
know a little bit of Spanish, and that's it. Yeah.
What the heck? Sometimes I go to click on a comment, but somebody says something before I finish clicking, and it'll go to the next one. Favorite quote saying from Star Wars? I guess we'll start at Aiden and then go round robin.
This is where the fun begins. It's my favorite one.
Got it?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with you were right about me. Tell your sister you were right. Big Anakin or Vader, however you want to say it. From a certain point.
Strike?
I think like Alec Guinness before the dark times.
I for sure thought you were going to say, ich habe eine große Wasserschlange.
No, not quite.
Obsession?
Stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
You can't use that word. Only we can use that word.
In the form of a review, Nerve Herder is a band name. Come on.
Oh,
There's a band named Nerve Herder now.
really?
Yeah, a while
I'll have to
ago.
look them up. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Long
All right.
time. You're good. I live
All
with a
right.
clearance person. If you're using anything Star Wars in the context of a review, you're good. I have a clearance person in my house. We're working on some stuff to try to get some Lucas licenses.
Oh, all right. I'm part of it. I'm there. Keely?
There's so many, but probably the first one that's coming to my mind is I can't remember exactly how it is right now, but it's what Qui-Gon says about to Jar Jar, like the ability to speak
Does not make you intelligent.
yeah, it's just so
Nice.
good and it's so
That is
real.
a good one. Yeah,
That's a good pig.
that is a good one. I have to go now, don't I?
Yep.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
How wooed.
Yes.
Nice.
That's mine. I just love it because it's so relevant to today's society. Jimmy McKee says, Han Solo, we had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right. No, we're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you.
How are you?
How are you? That was one of my favorite moments of the original trilogy for sure.
Have any of you ever seen the Family Guy Star Wars where he sits down with that guy and like with a cup of coffee and has like a whole huge conversation with him?
Yep.
The guy starts talking about like I don't remember. It was just really funny.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Was that wasn't Blue Harvest, was it? It was either Blue Harvest or something Dark Side. It was
Blue
one
Harvest.
of them. Yeah.
Between that and Family Guy and Robot Chicken, comedy gold. That was comedy gold. I love those.
So what I do have a question. Speaking of Jar Jar, since you brought him up, what does everybody think about the rumor of storyline change with Jar Jar being a Sith?
Really?
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't think he's smart enough. I mean, I
Well,
love Jar Jar, but
I mean, you see all of his. The only reason I kind of dig it is because all of his flubbers end up working, right? Like all of his, like, oh no, I mess up with the bomb back.
I'll be right back.
14, you know.
There is no way he's not a Sith Lord. He is the Sith Lord, and I fully believe that Palpatine is just a pawn in Jar Jar's game.
Yes,
I fully
I love
believe
that.
Jar Jar is the one behind everything. He has orchestrated everything. Darth Plagueis was just his pawn. He's been around for God knows how long, and I know for a fact that in my heart he is the Sith Lord, and he will. He may never reveal himself, but you know,
he was the reason that the Chancellor got power.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I was about to say that.
But it's because
He
he's
puts it over
stupid.
his head. You know, I
And he
think
took
it was
it
all
on,
his
like-
sinister
I think
plan.
he's brilliant.
I think he wanted to be able to be free with the dark side later. So he set Palpatine up knowing he could feel his power, saying, oh, I'm just going to let him ruin everything, and then I can go about being dark as I want.
Boss Nash should have been much more nicer to him.
You know,
Be the homie boss Nas.
yeah, that's just waiting for a good fan fiction. Animation or something.
Funnily enough, I remember what was it, Mod Best? He entertained the thing because awesome guy. Someone asked him like, "Hey, what do you think about the dark Jar Jar memes and stuff?" And he said, "Oh, it's funny." He was like, "Funny enough, I don't know. Again, you have to look for this. It's buried in the ether somewhere of the internet." But I think George was actually considering having that at some point.
No, that's what I'm saying. They actually, from what the rumor mill had it back then, was that was Dooku was the rewrite.
Yeah.
And that Binks was supposed to be either a distraction Sith for the Emperor, and then building, Anakin through that second movie, and then taking him in the third. But that was the rumor, was that they did the Dooku was the rewrite initially.
Yeah, I remember vaguely hearing about this. I appreciate you bringing that up. Oh my God, that's mind bending to think about.
I remember hearing about it too.
it would be cool to see, like, Theory was doing that, like animators or like movie, like send in your movies and we'll best one wins or whatever till the 31st of July. That would be a fun fan fiction animation. Just to throw it out there, replace Dooku with Binks the whole time, right?
Did I seriously miss that?
Yeah, that's all we've been talking about.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we stayed there just until you got back.
Ugh.
All right, bud.
What happened?
We nominated Binks for Supreme Chancellor.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, it's the right fit, clearly.
He is the Senate now.
Yes, Misa the Senate.
Ew.
Okay, I'll let you pick a new topic. I don't get this many nerds to talk about this with. I got excited because
I know, it's amazing.
In real life, people are like, "You're a dummy," and I'm like, oh, "Okay, you're obviously not the Star Wars person I need to be talking to."
It's nice to be able to let loose. I mean, if everybody's in here, including people that are watching, we've got like 30 people who want to talk about Star Wars, which is
That's awesome.
29 more than when I'm by myself. So I'm a huge fan of it, man.
So you left and we talked Darth Jar Jar, and now you're back and we can get off him.
Yep.
I just have one more thing to say. Just have one more thing to say. Never mind.
Did you?
Secret Agent Randy Beans threw me off.
That was
he
good.
threw me off. Secret Agent Randy Beans. But thank God we have a secret agent in the chat.
Secret Agent Randy Beans?
Very important person.
By the way,
Is
I'm
that
sorry.
somebody I'm supposed to know?
I don't know who it is, but that's a great name.
I mean, I like it for sure.
You ever watch Impractical Jokers?
Oh
Yes.
my gosh! How long is this person?
I
hanging
love
out?
That's
that
where Secret Agent Randy Beans comes from.
Copy.
All right,
really nice to see him pop
we
in
need
the
a
chat.
sacrifice. Somebody has to sacrifice themselves. Who's it gonna be? Who wants to go? Because we got to pull team money in.
That's okay. You want me to pull the Soul Stone and Snap and me Ninja Vanish? If that's okay, or I can
Do
stay.
it.
Very well. Well, again, as always, a pleasure. I'm glad I got home in time enough to pop in here a little bit later, but it's always a pleasure.
It's always good having you, man. Charlie, we love you, bud.
Yes. Peace out, Charlie. Take care,
Awesome
man.
seeing you, man.
Bye,
Good.
Charlie.
Yeah, I'll talk to you
Bye.
later, bud. And by the way, X-Wing, awesome green shirt that I will be getting soon. Strike.
Hey. Awesome guy. All right, buddy. We'll see you next time, okay?
Take it easy, all right?
All right. Bye.
You know what? I finally remembered what I was going to say. Like, you said that, like, Jar Jar was, like, really stupid, but, like, if he was truly, like, a moron, like, truly, like, a moron, then why would Padme let him on her delegation with, like, all the senators and stuff? Why would she trust an idiot to, like, literally take her place in the Senate? Like, he's got to be smart. He's smarter than he looks, and that's why I fully believe that, and that's why I fully believe he's the Sith Lord.
I mean,
What
he
up,
did
T-Money?
take out like multiple droids.
What up,
That's
Money?
true.
Welcome to the chat.
Money, I love that you wear your headphones over your sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Like that is my favorite part of seeing you on stream. I love it.
You can turn the volume down on your headphones, I promise.
Yeah.
Like, it's too loud. I'm
No,
gonna
he
put
can.
my
He
head
can.
on.
Maybe his ears
It's
are cold, and this
impossible.
is a way to keep him warm.
This is
Yeah,
the way.
yeah. The place I'm in is pretty cold. Although today was a really hot day, which was nice.
It's like 90 out today.
yeah.
110 here.
Anyways, it's been a busy night for me, but I wanted to hop in and say what's up to the stream, and yeah,
What's up, T-Money?
what's up?
We totally got off track. I think it'd be good now that we have everybody here. 3 movies. They were the prequels. We got to pick one, and I'm going to pick the one that is going to be probably the most controversial. I don't know. People don't like the Phantom Menace, but I think I'm going to pick 2. Attack of the Clones. What do you love about Attack of the Clones?
Everything. Well,
Yeah.
almost
I love
everything.
I love that
honestly,
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my
I thought I picked the hard
favorite.
one.
No, that's
No.
my second favorite of all movies, all time.
It goes 3, 2, 1, or okay.
No,
so-
Return of the Jedi,
Okay.
and then Attack of the Clones.
Damn.
Like all movies. Those are my top 2 favorite movies.
For
You're
me,
a
it's
good one to
Revenge of the
start
Sith
with
and
then.
Attack of the
What is it
Clones.
that you love so much about Attack of the Clones?
There was kind of a lot of people. Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay. What do I love about Attack of the Clones? What I loved, well, obviously there's the nostalgia factor because it came out when I was a kid, and I went to the Midnights, had my Padawan braid. I loved it all. I would have like we'd watch all the movies in one day before we would go. But so there's that factor. But I love how beautiful Naboo is for one. Like just seeing all the scenes of Naboo. I think I want to go there. I also really like the on Geonosis where all the lightsabers in that battle. I just think that's such a cool battle. And then the clones come and you're introduced to them. I love a lot of people don't like it, but I like Anakin and Padme's relationship. I like Anakin and Shmi, like how he gets to find his mom again, but you know, then you see her pass away and you see him start to turn towards Darth Vader, like really take a step in that direction. I just love so much about it. I think it's a pinnacle movie to get to A New Hope and to get back to Return of the Jedi. I think we couldn't go there without his emotions, without those experiences.
It's probably one of the most important Star Wars films in the saga. Because like my favorite part of Attack of the Clones is when Anakin is on Tatooine and he gets on his speeder to go find his mom.
Yeah.
And then like she dies in his arms. Like that whole thing
So
was like his first true steps into the dark side.
Yep.
And he like this is the first time he fully slaughtered like an entire village of just not the men but the women and the children.
And the children.
Yeah.
And the children, yeah.
That music is always stuck in my head.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's going bad.
Oh, and we get to see Yoda fight.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, we do. We get to see Yoda fight, which actually a lot of people hated.
I loved it. When I was in the theater, everyone screamed of joy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I still do it.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, let's go.
It'd be 3:00 in the morning, and Mrs. X-Wing is like, "Shut up!"
Yeah. Yeah. I got some thoughts too. Totally, like everything you said is what I feel. Growing up when I was younger, Attack of the Clones was a lot less scary and dark than Revenge of the Sith. So because anytime I watched Revenge of the Sith, I'd cry. So I'd usually watch Attack of the Clones. But everything you were saying, I totally agree with. Anakin was my favorite character, and I saw like a lot of me in him because Anakin didn't have he literally didn't have a father. But growing up, I didn't have my father around in my life, so his connection to his mother was something I felt too. And when he, lost her, like I envisioned myself like, yeah, if I lost my mom, I would get into rage too.
I'd be lopping heads off for sure.
Yeah, I had a lot of anger issues too as a child, so I just kind of sympathized a lot with it. Of course, it's like you don't want to actually end up like that, but
right.
But you could. It was just really relatable, and also like a lot of people will say like, oh, the dialogue is cringe and stuff, but a lot of teenagers say some really cringy stuff.
They do,
yeah. So
you live in a sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, and also I gotta say Natalie Portman, my first celeb crush. Yeah. And another part of the story which I completely love was Jango Fett. Jango Fett was so cool to me as a kid.
Yes.
The Bounty Hunter game was awesome. There were some cool comics and stuff too. And I also loved Boba, and just Jango was like I would specifically like watch the Jango Fett scenes and then the Boba Fett scenes of every movie like all the time, just because I loved their character so much. And even though they didn't have much screen time, but yeah, they were just like the coolest to me. But yeah, it's I don't rank the movies like all together, but I usually rank them based off trilogies. So now I've come to love 3 more, but two is still up there for me. So yeah.
Damn, son. Well, I love, honestly, for me, Attack of the Clones, it always boils down to, because I'm a boy and I love war, it's the it's the beginning of the Battle of Geonosis.
Yep.
When the lats are coming in, and whoa, that sound of them coming in, and they're firing off their missiles, and there's anti-aircraft going on, and everybody's,
I love it.
I
So
mean, it's just,
amazing.
it
Exciting.
was so cool, and that scene, I always remember it. It's the red dust flying up in the air after they've shot the capital ship down, and you just see bolts flying left and right, and it's flashing blue and red. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just like, I like pretty colors, but like, it was just so cool to see them going. And then when
Oh
you
my
actually,
god, I completely agree.
when you read what happened there, you realize like how poorly planned it was and how awfully things actually went at the Battle of Geonosis, and it just makes it all the better.
What I like about that in particular is just the goddamn sound design. Like if you listen the way ILM and they did the sound design, like I think the guy's name was Ben Burt, who designs all the like noises and sounds for Star Wars. Like that dude was on his A game for that. Like I like how they like use like, I like the fact where like in certain movies where you just take out all music and you just focus on like the sound, like ships, the blaster fire, and just the war. Like I really like how there was like, little music. Yes.
Everybody knows that
Classic,
noise. We love that noise.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then I
The
came back
release.
in Mandalorian. So good.
Nobody can make that noise with their mouth. It's impossible. But I love it.
Yeah, but like in the Geonosian arena, like when Padme like looks up and look, and then the music drops, like the lat sound and like the guns blazing, like dude, like this moment is like legendary. Like I don't think like any movie like recreated that kind of like holy shit. Yeah, so
Beginning of the end for the Jedi.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
But like it had some of the like biggest scale in the movies as well, like just everything going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got the first confrontation between the CIS and the Republic. It was the first one. It was huge. And when I get mad, I still speak Geonosian. You know.
The one kid who can fluently speak Geonosian.
Mrs. X-Wing still thinks I'm having a stroke every time.
Oh man.
Dude, you're gonna give Poggle a run for his money, man.
Yeah.
Who?
Poggle.
The lesser.
Yeah.
Oh.
Real life Jangos, man. Yeah.
Sorry, Poggle. You met Tamara Morrison? Are you kidding me?
Awesome.
That's
awesome,
man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I feel like all these people have met.
Someone.
This is the cool thing about the community. Yeah, like everybody has something tied to somebody. And I'm still just the guy with like random collectibles sitting in a back room. Like, I wish I could do cool stuff like that. I want to go do cool stuff like that.
You haven't been to like a celebration yet. You haven't been to like any of the big stuff like that. Like that's a big part of it. Is a lot of people have been to a couple celebrations. So you get to see them on these panels, and then you get to do the autograph signing, or you run into them in the hall, whatever. So, I mean, I was just seeing yesterday that all of the hotel rooms in Anaheim are sold out for celebration.
Oh, I believe it, but I would sleep on the street. So
I think that's the only reason I'm keeping the apartment in LA till after celebration.
Yeah, keep it. I'll just look through the windows. I don't care. Well, I mean, I think that was a pretty good Hangar Bay. I don't know that I have much else to add, unless there's any kind of theories or anything else anybody wants to add in, or.
I have one theory from Attack of the Clones that was addressed in the novelization. I'm gonna make it quick. I'm not gonna like go on a tangent or anything, but like, there's a very plausible theory out there that Palpatine hired the Tusken Raiders to kidnap and torture Anakin's mom and kill her, but keep her alive long enough for Anakin to find her. And like, he had Dooku set it all up and stuff. And like, if you really look at it, it's like, yeah, that sounds like something Palpatine would do. Like, absolutely, I could see him doing something like that. But
yeah, that does make sense.
Like,
I mean, he had been plotting since
the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he found out, Yeah, as soon as he found out that Anakin was a thing, he was plotting how to get him. So, yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
I think that's. I don't know if I necessarily like that idea, but like it makes a lot of sense and like just shows how manipulative and just so like forcing himself into Anakin's life Palpatine was. Like Anakin didn't even know it, but like he was already like just he was Palpatine was a huge part of his life, and he was influencing things behind the scenes. Like I believe that he also gave Anakin nightmares about Padme. That's why it drove him insane. It was all Palpatine's fault.
Right.
I believe that for a fact. But like,
well, I mean, I think that maybe Anakin was feeling her pain across the cosmos, just because she was so connected to him. I don't necessarily know if Palpatine had to do.
But
much.
that's what he's saying is that Palpatine was manufacturing that pain.
Right. I don't think he had to. I think Anakin was so powerful even then at Attack of the Clones that he didn't need to, because that's the only connection he really had in life. So I think he was kind of always feeling her,
Right.
I completely agree.
And I think that he felt the pain, but I don't know if Palpatine had to like force those dreams. Like I think those dreams were just like legit. I agree. He could have orchestrated the whole thing, but I don't think he had to place those pebbles or those thoughts in his head, because he was just feeling them organically. Just feeling.
I feel like he amplified Anakin's fears a bit, because Anakin told him about the stuff he did to his mother, and he knew how vulnerable and how like fearful Anakin was. Like he knew he was completely 100% vulnerable, and he's like, "Ooh, perfect time to just tap in, just ruin this person's life. Like he's gonna be my slave, and I cannot wait." And so I would say I completely agree. Like that everything was already there. I feel like Palpatine just kind of like took it from like a 100 and amped it up to like a 1000.
Yeah, I mean, Palpatine was all about manipulating feelings and
he was a
clouding the vision of the Jedi. Even
he's an asshole.
Okay, guys, strike T-Money, Spider-Man. Anything you guys want to say? I called you Spider-Man. You're Aiden. I can't help myself.
It's okay. I'll take both.
I just wanted to add, like, what I really enjoyed as a kid about Attack of the Clones was like the interaction between Anakin and Obi. Like even like the first scene in the elevator, like we right away know what their relationship is like. So Obi-Wan's like telling, "Yeah, calm down, breathe." And I must say I really enjoyed like where we get to see how they interact, how their relationship is. Because like in Revenge of the Sith, it's not that much. It's like the rescue of the Chancellor. But like after that, I mean, Obi-Wan is getting to Utapau basically, and
right.
But yeah, so I think that's very important.
The whole time. I mean, they get paired together a lot, but in the Clone Wars, they're at this point they're starting on a lot of their own campaigns. So they come together for the big ones, but Anakin's and Ahsoka are on missions, and Kenobi's kind of on his own a lot during the end of the war. So yeah, I could see that relationship.
But in the novelization, they put it out plain and simple, like front to back. Anakin and Obi-Wan are the heroes of the galaxy. They're like celebrities. Everybody on Coruscant is worried until they find out that Anakin and Obi-Wan just showed up on site. And now they know everything is going to be okay. I mean, they had this not repertoire. What's the word I'm looking?
Legendary status.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just, I mean, they were heroes, and everybody viewed them that way.
Well, I know Obsession said the other day that they're like two sides of the same sword.
They are. They're the right and left arm of the same Jedi, basically.
Exactly.
Like and you know that, I mean, that's why their fight was so epic.
That's like people complain about why was the fight so long. I'm like,
they couldn't best each other.
We were talking
about longer.
If they're on the flatlands of Mandalore, like I think Kenobi's done because there's nowhere right. But he was actively trying not to fight his brother. He's like, man,
he was always moving back.
Like I'm gonna jump off this. I'm gonna get on this little guy. I'm gonna like constantly running until he's like, look, just stop for a second. Like, just stop. I got you. And that's what we were talking about the other day was, you know, Kenobi tapping into that forbidden form to cut off Anakin's arm and legs in one movement, right? That's I don't think we really ended up finishing that conversation, but that's ultimately, you know, Kenobi did something he considered forbidden to finish the fight,
right?
You know, and he didn't want to stab him with a saber. So, I mean, yeah, for that, I mean, I think that's a huge part. I hope we see that again in live action, running through Kenobi's memory in the
that would be cool.
campfire, like the like almost like a hologram over the fire with like his memory of them fighting, and then sitting there
like the fires of Mustafar.
Yeah, like he just can't help every time he lights a fire, like he sees a part of that or something. Like I can't wait for that show. I'm so excited. Like everybody's excited about certain things.
Just like in the coals of the fire, you see Anakin like, or like reaching out of the fire.
You see like Anakin jumping, and then Obi-Wan jumping, and you just see these like little Lego size are like jumping on what is the coals, but Obi-Wan is seeing the whole fight in his head.
Yeah.
My favorite part of before we go of Attack of the Clones is actually hearing Qui-Gon's voice in
Anakin.
It's so important to the end, right? People just look by that as like, oh, it's just, you know, but I think that's the first time the living force Qui-Gon tries to reach out. He's so upset in the force that's the first time he realizes, oh, I can affect I can almost be there. And I think people overlook that. Like that's a big part of like what Yoda learned, what Kenobi learned. Like he learned that, I think, in that moment was the first time he tried to connect with the physical world from the Force realm.
Yeah. And that's how I think, if I remember correctly, listening through lore, he got Kenobi in like the last I'm sorry, not Kenobi. Oh my God, you're going to have to come back to me. My brain is not working. I'm trying to remember. It was in the final moments, like right before he died. That's how we got him to pull him into the Force. I'll think
Ben
about it.
or Anakin? Kenobi or Anakin are we talking about?
Anakin. It was Anakin. Right. So right when he came back to the light, like moments before he died, Kenobi got to him and was like, "This is what you need to do. You got to do this if you want to be a Force ghost. Come with me." And just like, whoo, like got it done in like 5 seconds.
Well, almost like guided him by the hand into the light, right? Like into the white tunnel that makes you a Force ghost, right? Like he knew because he studied for so long how to do it because Qui-Gon was tutoring him in the Tatooine desert for 19 years.
Ethan, you're fucking awesome. Yeah, Anakin, he literally, it was like a moment before he passed that Obi-Wan grabbed him.
Well, how did everybody feel about the Hayden ghost opposed to the original ghost?
I prefer it. I prefer Hayden because it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more like his embodiment of the light as opposed to the last few moments before his death. It was more the embodiment of him in the light as a Jedi.
You just think about it. Vader, after he was scarred, Vader was the way Vader saw Anakin was his Revenge of the Sith self. Because Vader was completely scarred and burned. So it wouldn't make sense for him to come back as like an old man because he technically wouldn't know what he would look like if you really think about it. He's covered in like burn wounds and scars still. So
that was not his Force impression of himself as the light.
The light side was Anakin Skywalker, like young Anakin, because Vader would constantly fight in his mind with Anakin and always win. And in the very end, Anakin finally overpowered Vader, and that's the Anakin that takes form. Is that like Hayden Revenge of the Sith Anakin? That was the last time he was truly in the light side of the Force. So to see that come back. And see that manifest into a Force ghost, that makes way more sense than seeing the old man. And he was like and Anakin was only like 40 at the time too. And look at Hayden now. Yeah, like the dude was like, I don't know the guy's name, and I feel bad, but he was like in his 60s or like late 50s. Right. Something Shaw, I think.
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes,
don't think he
Jimmy.
even know who he was playing either. I think I saw an interview of that. Something. But,
Yeah,
What'd you
but
say, Too Many?
I don't remember, but I think like someone said like he said like, oh, who am I playing or something like that. I'd have to look it up. Don't.
Oh, are you talking about the difference between Dave Prowse and Shaw?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they hired Shaw to replace Prowse because of something going on, and
Right.
Shaw
Had
didn't
no
really know
idea
who
what he
was
was doing.
playing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
little
but he
did
wound up
know.
being the end one.
yeah. So I'm like multitasking. So
I agree with. I say yes, Jimmy McGee.
He's playing Swoder. That's what's going on.
no, I'm doing something else.
We hear Qui-Gon. I don't think we get to see him.
Right. Yeah, I think it's canon that he was not able to actually make himself a Force ghost, but he was able to speak to Kenobi.
Except on Mortis, because
Yes.
that's where the Force flows through.
I saw an interesting fan theory pretty recently, or a little while ago, saying that like I don't know if it's true or not. I'm giving you the bare minimum of what I remember. It was like Qui-Gon could possibly manifest in Kenobi, like through like if Kenobi lights a fire, he could like manifest and like kind of like take some form through like a fire or something. I don't really know how it would be done, but like that's really it. Like maybe he could sort of see him, but like I feel like he'd just be a voice, if I'm being completely honest. And I know there was a deleted scene with him as a voice in Revenge of the Sith.
So apparently there was like a book or something that said that Qui-Gon was able to actually manifest as a ghost later on.
Well, we saw him in Clone Wars as a ghost, right?
Yeah, but
That was
was
on Mortis.
From Mortis.
But maybe
Yeah,
like,
living
that's
planet
why
of the Force.
he could do it after that. Maybe maybe it's like Force lightning. You have to absorb it to be able
Right, to be able to, yeah.
So maybe it was like, oh well, I learned on Mortis, how to manifest my ghost, and then he knows it from then on.
The only reason I'd say no to that is because the Yoda arc in season 6 takes place later, and there he explicitly
He doesn't
says
show
like, my training was incomplete, so I can't actually manifest as a ghost. He can only talk as a voice. But
Right.
I haven't read the book, but I'm pretty sure there's a book that said like by the time of A New Hope, he was able to actually become a ghost.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think maybe on Mortis, it's like a first time.
It could be a first step or something.
Like the first time you use the Force, you don't really know how to do it. It just happens, and you have to learn. Maybe meditating with Kenobi and Yoda. Over the course of 19 years, let him get some level up to his game. I'm not too sure. I hope we get to see him. I love Leslie Nielsen. He's just amazing in everything, and I'd love for him to come back as Qui-Gon. But there's so much they're gonna. I mean, they could go over the fight with Maul in the desert. They could go over some Ezra Bridger stuff. There's a lot of meat to tap into in Kenobi. It just depends on which direction they go. I mean, where does everyone
going to be?
Where does everyone think they're going?
I think it's gonna be, focused purely, like the main focus of it is gonna be Vader and Kenobi. We might see some other stuff, but I think that's gonna be like the real meat of it.
For sure.
I hope we get to see some Kenobi learning Sand people, Tuscan language like Din Djarin.
He's probably going to learn the cry for the Krayt Dragon.
Right. So I would love to see some of that in some of him learning, from the Tuscans, maybe trading, maybe helping them kill some stuff or whatever, help them out. But I would like to see some Tuscan interaction, because if you're going to be there for that long, he's going to run into him. And word was that he was protecting Luke from them a lot during the time on Tatooine, making sure that I think him and Bale got in, or not Bale, him and Owen got into some heated arguments about not wanting his help because he was scaring off the Tuskens from the Skywalker Ranch.
But it would make sense like that he would like keep on protecting them, like because like if Palpatine didn't like in some sort of way make the Tuskens like kidnap Anakin's mother back then, I mean it would make sense that the Tuskens would like regularly like attack these kind of farms that are pretty alone and unprotected. So yeah, I think it's the most logic thing to stay there and protect the son of Anakin. I mean.
We have a legend here. I need one of my Hangar Bay people to sacrifice themselves because we have somebody amazing that I want to bring into the stream. Strike T Money Spider-Man, Rochambeau right now. Who's going?
Oh, that was a weak Rochambeau.
Rock, paper, scissors for it?
That's
yeah.
what Rochambeau is.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I can probably go because tomorrow I have to go to a meeting anyways. So
Okay. All right.
yeah.
T Money, let's give him a round of applause, dude. Green Squad has been absolutely amazing in the Discord, and it's all headed up by the man himself, T Money. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as always. And just letting you know, if you ever do a dedicated Tag the Clones like appreciation or something, get Kat on that because that's her favorite movie. And,
Okay.
And she did a Tag the Clone. Why Attack the Clones is underrated. And
I remember that.
Yeah, that was still one of my favorite videos that she did.
There
Absolutely.
is something in the works. I'm not going to say what yet. Mrs. Two Star Wars Nerds might have something to say about it, but we're not going to let her say anything yet. But there might be something happening in that direction. So.
All right. I see you.
All right.
Anyways, take care, and Green Leader signing off.
All right, T-Money. We'll see you in the Discord, bud. Bye.
Peace out.
God, I love that guy. Okay, well, straight from the depths of Hoth comes Timothy Allen. How you doing, man?
How's it going, guys?
It's good to see you. I was not expecting to see you on this stream.
Yeah, I would put my daughter to bed and thought I'd come on.
So you must be quiet.
Nice. Yeah, somewhat quiet.
What brings you here? What's going on?
I just wanted to be part of this community because, like, I don't know, it's cool that like a bunch of smaller channels are popping up and doing stuff. It's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, we are having a grand old time. We were talking about the prequels a little bit. ABJ just showed up in the chat. Are you kidding me? Come on. There we go.
Yeah, I'm all about the prequels.
You love the prequels. Which one is your favorite of the three?
Revenge of the Sith Extended, the 4-hour cut with Clone Wars mixed in.
Yeah, I watched that. That was really
Is there
good.
a place to find that? Because
I will send you the link, X-Wing.
We've been talking about it forever, man.
X-Wing, I can send you the link if you'd like it.
No, I'll send it to you.
Please put it in the Discord.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's like 2 hours.
Put it in the Discord, just put it in because I'll do a watch party with that.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah.
Yeah, a watch party for the 4-hour. I'd be super, dude. Like Saturday, wake up, have a cup of coffee, and then just sit down for the most amazing experience of your freaking life.
Well, is that easier for the Europeans also to jump on like at early, so that they're not up at 2 a.m. with us? You know, like you were saying, grab a cup of coffee, maybe like 9 a.m. That way it's not, 2, 3 in the morning for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, we could stream it at midnight, and then it'd be like 8 a.m. for them, I think.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll grab my jammies and let's do an overnight.
You guys,
I'm down for that.
Dude, the chat is like, let's do it. Let's go. Yes,
I'll be
let's
down.
do it.
It'd be 3 in the morning for me, but I'll try and pop in.
Any of you guys know what Kurosawa mode is?
Yeah.
What mode?
Oh, I'll say it again. Do any of you guys know what Kurosawa mode? Kurosawa.
I think
Like,
I think of like
so it's,
I think of like
you
Dave
guys probably
Filoni
know
and
that,
Kurosawa.
Well, so like Star Wars is loosely based off of like westerns and old samurai films, right?
Yeah.
So Kurosawa mode is that 4-hour extended edition of Revenge of the Sith, but in black and white with Japanese audio, English subtitles, and film grain, and it watches like an old samurai movie. It's really
I don't know
cool.
if I could do that though. Like I
don't
just
think
love
I
my
could
Star
either.
Wars the way it is, you know. I don't know. If you're
No,
super into
it's a
like
novelty
anime
for
and
sure.
stuff like that, yeah, I think that would be like super awesome.
Just like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, it's a novelty for
It's
sure,
like-
but just a different way to watch it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like Logan. I don't know if you guys like the IR version of Logan, but I really enjoyed the hell out of that.
I have not seen that movie yet, and everybody tells me you have to watch Logan because it is like the best freaking movie when it comes to a superhero.
You want to see?
I don't know.
You want to see
it's
a Marvel
deep.
movie, red, like with blood and people getting killed? That's the perfect movie because it is violent.
Okay, I can dig that.
And they do a version. They do a version in color, and then they do a version in just black and white. And the black and white version is really rad.
I gotcha. Okay.
For me, Logan. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Send it off.
I was just gonna say, for me, I don't know why. I like Logan a lot. It's a really good movie. For me, and I just watched this movie too. For me, Logan kind of feels like the Dark Knight Rises of like the Fox X-Men universe. Because like, if you look at Logan and you look at the Dark Knight Rises, Logan and Bruce have very, very similar arcs in that film. They're both like kind of coming back. I wouldn't say out of hiding. It's obviously very different circumstances. Yeah.
Broken.
Bruce is physically broken, and so is Logan. I mean, in that movie, Bruce has a cane and stuff just from all the like damage he took as Batman, and Logan has like an infection with his claw thingies.
I
think it's his whole body.
His
actually,
claw
like
thingies.
It's the metal. The metal.
The skeleton. Yeah.
Unobtainium.
Exactly.
It's vibranium, right? It's vibranium. Oh, adamantium. What's vibranium? Is vibranium Cap shield?
Like Black Panther stuff.
Cap shield.
They say there's a rumor I read somewhere in probably some Reddit stream that they're the same metal. That vibranium and adamantium are actually
they're just called different things.
Yeah. So like they're actually the samesies.
Or like adamantium is just like the second most indestructible metal in the entire universe. It's like that's vibranium in the Marvel universe. Like it's like indestructible. You cannot.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's two different names for the same substance, right? Because they're both like they're both comet pieces, right? So didn't mean to dive off a tangent, but yeah, they're both. I mean, pieces of a meteor.
It's good, man. It's good. I do have to redirect, so. This is a Star Wars channel.
Yeah, that's why I stopped.
And I'm going to do something unprecedented here. Mrs. Two Star Wars Nerds, you are now the head of this channel. Lead this off. Let's talk about something Star Wars. What do you got?
Just anything?
Go crazy.
Anything.
Yes, this is your platform. It's your time. The cameras are flashing. Everybody's looking at you.
You didn't prepare me for this.
No, that's the best part.
Anything like. What did you guys think of Rebels?
It had some.
That's
good
a long
stuff.
conversation.
I liked it. I loved
it. Had some good stuff.
What part?
The Maul and Obi-Wan fight.
Yes.
It's probably the best besides the Ahsoka stuff.
Lightsaber fight.
That's the best Maul stuff, I think.
Yeah. Like the character development like that we see, and like basically like the rivalry between Obi-Wan and Kenobi coming to an end in this fashion, and with so much thought put into the lightsaber styles. I think that's like one of the most beautiful and most intense scenes probably in Star Wars.
Palpatine and the fighting of the brothers, the Savage. I mean, that's amazing watching him pound the other Sith Lords into the ground with laughing and giggling at them. I mean,
that was heavy.
There's so much good in Rebels.
That's Clone Wars.
It's such good connected.
Yeah, it is.
That's Clone Wars.
I wasn't sure what to expect with it, and I was like greatly surprised,
It was
and
Clone
like
Wars.
I actually really liked it a lot, and I know a lot of people don't like Ezra. I hear a lot of people talk smack about Ezra, but I don't hate Ezra. Like, he's not my favorite Jedi or anything, but I think he's pretty cool. And I think he had decent character development too throughout the series, and you got to kind of see him mature, which you don't always get to see.
We can put this to a vote here. There's 6 of us. What do you think?
Ooh,
Clone Wars or Rebels?
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Which is
ABJ,
better?
I love you,
Clone
bro,
Wars.
but you got messed up right there, bro. Everybody said Clone Wars.
The council has decided your fate.
I feel like Rebels
outrageous.
is more controversial though. Like, pretty much any Star Wars fan likes Clone Wars, but then like if you say Rebels, people are like, "Oh, I hate that," or
Yeah,
"It's
I
all
mean,
right."
I got
like Rebels, dude.
I'll be the lone.
like
guy.
it.
I'll say Rebels over Clone Wars.
Awesome.
I think you
Explain yourself.
I just think you get a different side of the coin that we never see. We see the Jedi Order supreme, the whole prequels, they're awesome. You see younglings getting trained.
Yeah.
Clone Wars, you do get awesome breakdown of Anakin, but we had that without it. But Rebels shows what Vader's doing after, right? We get some of that story in between the prequels and the OG
And
trilogy.
we got Palpy trying to bring Ezra in with that whole like temple thing, that
It was-
like that manufactured temple thing.
And he wanted the world between worlds, because then he could make Vader not a machine. He could interject in that Kenobi fight and make Anakin the winner, right? And before he gets jammed up, and then really reign the galaxy the way he wanted to, with the full potential apprentice chosen one, right? Like, that's why he wanted the world between worlds. So
Dude, the chat is blowing my mind right now. How many people are saying no, Rebels was better than Clone Wars?
I just think
That's
you get a story we
Brighton
didn't.
is the only one that has a good opinion. Just joking.
He gets it.
It was emotional though.
crazy.
Like, I don't know what the comment was, but even like, with Kanan, and like they built up so much. They built up these characters so well, and then like even to not see all of them and wonder where they are right now, but even
You get
like
a
Kanan,
naming
Ahsoka,
ceremony.
all of it.
It's so good.
It is.
I agree with you. It's you get so much that we had never seen. The knighting
Yeah.
ceremony alone with, we got that with Fallen Order with Seer, but we got to see the Grand Inquisitor knight a Jedi. Like that,
Right.
just like
And I
I
liked
just-
how Kanan had to kind of figure out how to train Ezra, because he didn't really even get to finish his training. So you see him trying to figure things out, and I thought that was a really cool. I just thought that was really cool that they're
Maybe
kind of
I-
learning together.
I just feel like for me, like Clone Wars, the brotherhood between the clones and you're operating in wartime, and the love and the brotherhood there, and like 99 going down in the invasion of Kamino, like
No.
you can't
My
top
heart.
that in Star Wars, dude. That's like everything to me. I just love the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars humanized clones.
I
Yeah.
love the Clone Wars. You get my favorite character built from there, but there's something to be said about Rebels that gives us a story that we didn't have before that. And that's all I'm saying is people are like, well, what was Vader doing in between this and this? Hunting Kenobi. That's all he was doing. He
Right.
had trained a dozen henchmen. Go find these guys because I need this dude dead.
Right.
And I don't think we knew Anakin was going to go down. I just think Rebels gave people something they'd been yearning for. The building of lightsabers, Ezra
There was a
discovering.
Clone Wars arc with
Right.
that, though.
No, I'm saying Ezra as a single, not as a group going to a gathering.
Yeah.
But, like, where do the Jedi get their crystals now that the Empire has destroyed every temple we know of, right? So just that it shows us there's other places other than Ilum to get your Kyber.
I thought that was really cool to see. My only I have a few issues with Rebels. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely prefer Clone Wars more, but I like that Rebels definitely tried to do something and give us something different. My only problem was that there is not one Rebels episode where Ezra is not featured. And like, there's like episodes that try to focus on other characters, but they still cram Ezra in there. Like, there's
he's the new. I mean, he's the Luke while Luke's a baby, right?
like
he's
right.
You know, he's the main character because it starts with him. It doesn't start with the ghost. The ghost is something that he discovers.
Yeah.
Right. He's a rat, you know, just like Anakin was, just a rat on a desert planet.
A rat in the desert.
I think what Aiden is trying to say is that, like in scenes with the Obi-Wan and Maul scene, it didn't need Ezra to be
Ezra.
Like
he
it
was
could
took
have
up
just
with most of
been
that episode.
Maul. Like it could have just been Maul finding Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but
alone.
Maul looked for a while without Ezra. He needed Ezra as bait. That I think that's the only thing that it comes out to is Maul was losing his mind in the desert because he's like, I know, where is he? I feel him, right? And he knows. And Ben is just sitting on a hillside drinking a milk watching in the distance, just watching this guy go nuts. And then finally he's like, all right, I got to pull the kid in because if I start screwing with the kid, Kenobi's bleeding heart, you know, because he killed Sabine in front of him. He knows how to twist Kenobi, right? Because he's done it 2 or 3 times to him already. So he knows I gotta bring in something that he needs. And Ben looks at Ezra as the current, like, you know, the current hope because he knows he's waiting for the new hope.
Right.
I'm going to give you one example of why I agree with you there. I completely agree. Like, I get Maul was like just trying to use Ezra to get to Obi. But there's this one episode in Rebels, and I'm not going to lie, I sort of hate this episode because I will give it some credit, but there's this episode in season 2 where Hera tries to send Sabine on a mission, and it's like, oh, we get to get some cool character development for Sabine. She's like, you're the only one qualified for this mission. You know this stuff, like, in and out. Like, I trust you only, and you can take Chopper with you. Like, that's fine. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, wait, can I go? And then out of nowhere, she's like, yeah, sure, why not? You can just be backup because obviously you're, like, now qualified because you need to be there for, like, at least 5 minutes just to give the audience their Ezra time. And,
yeah.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, to me, like, the most interesting characters in the show are, like, Kanan and Hera. I really like their dynamic, and I really like the idea of Kanan sort of kind of being like an Anakin, kind of like, you know what, the Jedi are gone. I'm just gonna like kind of like maybe like fall in love and like do my own thing for a while, fight the Empire. I like the idea that it's not as like black and white as it was in prequels. Like Kanan's just a very interesting character.
And if I can butt in, Timothy, we need you to quiet down a little bit, if you could.
Not bad.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
just
getting
say
tired of that.
one thing for Rebels that I will have to say though is that's what got my wife into Star Wars, like as a fan. She'd seen the movies and stuff, but when we actually went through Rebels together, she was like, "This is really amazing. Like, tell me more." And I actually was able to tell her about Star Wars stuff without her getting annoyed, which was pretty cool. So I guess that's my point for Rebels. But Clone Wars, if it weren't for season 7, I might have to give it to Rebels. But Clone Wars season 7 just blew it out of the water for me. My favorite moment is when Rex takes his helmet off and he's crying, or when Ahsoka takes Rex's helmet off and he's crying.
Really hurts.
And
really pulls
I cry every time I see that. I see that quite often those last couple episodes. So.
Yeah. How about that in live? Would you love to see that recreated in the Ahsoka show? Having Tamara Morrison pull his helmet off, like, oof. Sheesh.
Maybe not that exact same moment, but what I will tell you that I want to see in the Ahsoka show is Ahsoka meeting with Luke, and Luke telling Ahsoka, "Hey, my dad came back to the light side right before he died. Your master, like he was redeemed. You were right about him."
Yeah.
So I would love to see that.
That would be a very emotional moment, having Luke and Ahsoka talk to each other, and he lets her know he did come back. He did embrace the light with Rosario Dawson, and she just starts crying like crazy. Oh my God, I would lose it.
I mean, first of all, Ahsoka would find out that Anakin had kids. I mean, I don't think she actually knows yet. No,
There's no reason she would know.
Yeah, exactly. So it would be like double, like, oh, okay, Anakin had children. Oh, okay, Anakin turned to the light side in the end. Like,
Yeah,
that would
That brings
be
up-
a deep moment.
That would bring up clarity on Anakin's turn to the dark side for Ahsoka as well. It's like, oh shit, he had kids
Right.
during that time. Like maybe
You're
there
right.
was more to this that I did not know. Maybe Anakin didn't turn to the dark side for the reason I thought. And I feel like just Ahsoka getting that closure and that clarity that Anakin redeemed himself. He's now a Force ghost, a moment of the Force. Oh, he's such a good moment.
Yeah, even just her. I mean, if it was at the same time, she finds out, like, I'm Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, and she goes, I know that name. And he's like, well, I'm his son. And, you know, when everything happened, he did turn back to the light. It makes me wish in Return, he would have said something about Ahsoka, which never would have happened. But just, like, somehow he could have said something about Ahsoka. Like, tell your sister, tell Ahsoka they were right. They were right about me.
Yeah, I mean, she's. I think she knows he died. That Anakin comes back because I think that's what drags her out of the temple that she's hiding in. I think that she feels Anakin become part of the cosmic force, and that's what draws her out of hiding. You know, I think that she is so connected after she feels Anakin or Vader, however you want to cut that piece of bread down the middle. She feels him in that ship. I did a video about it, about the time jump, but she feels him in that moment. So from then on, she knows Vader can feel her.
Right.
The whole time. Yeah. Anywhere she goes, there's an Inquisitor. There's somebody's coming for her.
Right.
And so I think that's why she hides. And once Vader is gone, once Anakin beats Vader, so to speak, once Anakin's victorious and coming back to the light, I think she feels her old master even for that brief moment.
Oof.
And knows and maybe cries.
I mean, going on with that point, I mean, we see Anakin's Force Ghost on Endor, like in the end of Return of the Jedi. What if Anakin's Force Ghost, like, visits Ahsoka?
Yes.
Like,
But she's not a
directly.
Jedi.
Give it to me.
That's the key
Please.
there is she'll never be able to see him because she is not a Jedi.
But
She is
they had a very
she
close
is-
relationship.
She is strong in the Force, though. You don't
I feel like
have
they
to
could
be a
pull it off if
Jedi
they
to be
wanted
able to
to.
see a Force
I think
ghost.
they could pull it off.
I mean, I don't know if that's fact though. I'd love to hear that on a panel for George.
Just retcon it.
You know? I'd love to hear Dave and George's take on can you see Force ghosts not being a Jedi?
Well,
Because has anybody seen a Force ghost that's not a Jedi?
Not being force sensitive?
Not
Well,
yet.
I mean, think about Luke.
A Jedi
When he
or
was
force
on
sensitive?
Hoth, he wasn't like. I mean, he wasn't ready to go. You know what I mean? But Ben came to him.
But he was training already. He was still
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
in the way.
And he was
Was nothing against like the normal training of a Padawan.
I think the way that it works is that like it's all about like the situation at hand. Like Anakin can manifest himself depending on the situation and like depending whether like the Force wills it or not. Like I feel like the Force would will that because their relationship was so strong that like Anakin probably feels like he needs to give Ahsoka that closure. And I feel like he can only like I thought the way they explained it is that Force ghosts can only manifest themselves to a certain extent. They can't just manifest all the time. It's like I remember there was like some old comic with like Anakin showing up to Leia, and Leia wasn't a Jedi at the time, and she was just like, "Yo, I'm sorry for all the things I did to you as Darth Vader. This is like the last time. This is like the only time I will ever get to see you. So please just let me make my amends." And then Leia's like, "No, get out of here," and he like disappears, and she never sees him again. Because I don't think he could have manifested back to her. I think there's like I don't want to say certain rules, but like I don't know, but I just know that was like a thing being like I can't come and see you again, so this is the only time I have to tell this to you. And like Leia, I mean this is Legends, but still I feel like there's something there.
thoughts? Mrs. Nerds, Again,
One thing I was
please,
just
if you
thinking
could just
of-
stop
Go ahead.
talking, please.
I'm just trying to like process what's being said. I mean, that was pretty intense.
I know this is the best part of this community is that people say stuff and your brain just goes like,
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my
Okay.
mind around everything.
yeah. And I want to hear what you have to say.
One thing I was thinking about, one thing I was thinking about real quick about Ahsoka, whether she knew that Anakin turned back at the end of his life. I wouldn't think so, because in Mandalorian, when she's saying, I've seen what such feelings can do to a fully trained Jedi Knight.
Right.
I feel like she says that with such conviction that there's no hope in the way that she says that. There's no possible way she would know. Maybe she felt the presence of Darth Vader leave the galaxy and she might assume, okay, he died on the Death Star or something. But I don't think she would know that Anakin turned back.
That's a very good point.
Well, and I don't know what literature it is, but there is literature out there that says that Ahsoka and Luke never met, but a conversation Luke has was, "Oh yeah, Ahsoka Tano, my father's apprentice." Like he knew of her, but they had never met, and I thought that was like a canon novel, maybe a Return of the Jedi novelization or something. But I thought that was written, or the thoughts. It was the thoughts of Luke Skywalker in a book. I don't remember.
Yeah.
The book.
Yeah.
And it was he. I don't think he'd ever met her, but he heard of her.
Yeah.
I just probably gonna have to go soon, but I just wanted to say I saw this the other day and I was like, damn, that's really cool. This might give you guys something to think about. But before Ezra intervened and like literally like twisted fate and altered time and brought Ahsoka back in the world between worlds, before that, if you really look at if you look at that scene, Vader straight up cuts her head off.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, oh my god.
Do you actually
like
see
their
it?
relationship went from
Does he?
like, and then like this like brother and sister kind of like dynamic to Vader actually like obliterating her.
Yeah, Vader don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, and there
but
was
that little part of Anakin is always the question, right? And we know that little bit of Anakin still survives in him throughout his time as Vader.
Right.
Like Vader in the Clone Wars. Go ahead.
There was that. I think Dave Filoni said it. I think, but they were talking about that interaction where they're standing there looking at each other after she slashes the helmet, and right before he lit his lightsaber, that millisecond while Vader Anakin hesitated, and you see his pupil dilate. There was a battle going on in the soul.
Yeah.
And Vader and Anakin were actually fighting in that moment for control of the body.
And I got tricked by that, by the way. I went on YouTube and there was a YouTube cut where his eyes were blue.
Yeah.
For just a moment.
Clickbait.
Yep, I saw that too.
And I got in an argument with a guy, and I'm like, no, it happened. And I went and rewatched the episode, and like, now I feel dumb. Because I argued with that guy for like 5 minutes. I'm like, no, it happened.
Yeah,
It happened.
It was pretty convincing. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is a lot of people watching
That's the same thing with
that don't know the lore and don't know what's going on, don't realize that millisecond of battle was really going on when he said Ahsoka. Vader wouldn't have said her name, right? But
that quick moment, he would never have said Ahsoka,
right?
If Anakin wasn't there.
Ahsoka, like just like almost
wanted
like
nothing to do with Anakin,
right? Like that last scene that says like Padme help me as this helmet's going on. It's that same kind of thing, like getting out of a prison cell for just a second and saying help. It wasn't like, oh, Ahsoka. It was like Ahsoka, like help me.
He had that brief moment.
Vader was like,
Vader was like, then you shall die, and then it's over.
And then
it's over.
And then it was Vader again, and you can see it in the power thrusts that he's using on her. Like he's just putting everything into it because that's Vader angry that Anakin even got out for a breath.
Right.
You know,
Destroying Anakin's past.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything
Like,
about
Anakin,
Vader wants dead.
I gotta
go watch Rebels again.
Yeah.
Vader, Obi-Wan is not Vader's worst enemy. Vader's worst enemy is Anakin Skywalker.
It's
That's
Anakin.
why he's constantly battling with himself more than anybody else. And if you
Yeah.
think about that, like the mental illness and like the split personality disorder, it is so heightened that it's
Oh,
like Vader doesn't even know who he is, and he just knows. Like think about it. This guy was once Anakin Skywalker. Like he becomes so just stuck in his own mind that like there is no more Anakin. He fully believes that Anakin Skywalker was another person. He
Right.
fully believes that Anakin is his greatest enemy and that Anakin must die. Everything about Anakin, Vader wants eradicated. And
Gone.
Anakin,
Well, but that's why he's hunting Ben Kenobi and Ahsoka so hard.
exactly.
It's not that he has to destroy another Jedi. It's I have to destroy that last living connection to Anakin Skywalker. Right? I have to own it like Luke and Leia later, or I have to kill it.
Yeah. And I mean, the Emperor knew it too. I mean, he was like, the Emperor was so scared of Anakin coming through and basically destroying Darth Vader. I mean, that's the whole reason why he made his suit like easy to be electrocuted.
Well, and while X-Wing's gone, this is a big part of the comics right now that they're going to, that every time Anakin came through, Palpatine not only felt it, but forced Vader to deal with it. It forced him into a hateful situation. Like, you were weak, okay, go here. Oh, you were weak, go here. I don't care what it costs you. And then he set up the odds against him to push him over the edge. So like, just it's an amazing chess match that it's really 2-on-1, right? It's Vader and the Emperor against Anakin the whole time. And you don't really see that. And so these moments where Anakin comes out, that's why it's so much more impactful to me as the Star Wars watcher, going, oh my God, that was a 2-second eternity battle in the mind that was going on right before that. Like, that's it. And then you see the Emperor punish him relentlessly.
There's this great
moment coming out, you know, for even if it was for just a brief
millisecond.
Yeah. And he punishes him for days with it. Whether
This is a
it's
good question in the chat
taunting
here. Do you guys think they're going to do this?
Maybe.
I think deepfakes will become as prevalent as regular CGI
at some point
in the future.
Think so?
I mean, because they could just go animated too, like a Clone Wars style or
Right,
Rebel
like
style.
like Fennec Shan, how they put her in the Bad Batch and stuff like that.
I mean, I would rather see that than a bunch of deep fakes. I'm fine with a little bit, but to have a whole show of like everyone deep faked maybe.
And that's my thought about everybody saying
in the next few years.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. But I'm just thinking about like a full Luke show. How do you do a full Luke show without Mark Hamill being the ace he is?
You use the kid, like the young kid that looks just like him. Even Hamill said he'd make a great.
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah,
I think that would be better than a deep fake.
Yeah,
honestly,
and I'm willing to accept that now.
So much
Mark Hamill is narrating before we get into the acting, kind of like you guys were saying about Lando, the Billy D talking and the Danny Glover acting kind of thing. That would be a way that I would be like, yes, I accept that. Is Mark Hamill's narrating this one time on Tatooine, and then we go into the storytelling. Would be a great way to satisfy both sides of that argument.
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mark would do it because he's like,
he would.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, you're making Luke awesome. You're not making him a simp. Yeah, I'm in.
Did you see his reaction after like Mando season 2 finale? Like he was like, "Yeah, dude, like such a good job, like making my character awesome again." Like,
yeah, we all
I mean,
needed
you
that.
guys take those characters real seriously. Even Harrison Ford and Carrie, like these guys take those. Those are the roles that built their careers, really. And so they take them. They're very close to their heart. And I think Hamill came out very aggressive against The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Right. He came out very aggressive about the story arc that Luke Skywalker, the Luke that they had drawn out, and was very vocal about it. So to see his Luke Skywalker back, the Luke that he left,
right?
I think his reaction was perfect.
Yeah.
If he wasn't,
nobody knows Luke better than Mark Hamill.
Exactly.
Yes. And he had the exact right points about the character development and like why Luke wouldn't do certain things. Like, better listen to the guy that played him for like I don't know how long.
Might be a good idea to listen to the guy that is the person.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
It might be a good idea. Just a
George
suggestion.
Lucas told him how to make that character that character. You know, it's just
Right.
like Hayden. People hated Hayden, but George told him, "Be Hayden. This is how Vader would be. This is how Anakin would be."
Yeah,
He
exactly.
was so brilliant as Anakin. Like all the little
Honestly,
details, if you pay attention, he
Yep.
purposely made his voice monotone to match James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you
Yeah.
Yep.
you look at that scene where he turns to the dark side, he literally analyzed that scene with Vader in Return of the Jedi and tilts his head exactly like Vader did in Return of the Jedi
Yep.
when he turned to the light.
Yeah.
But this time it's Anakin turning to the dark.
To the dark.
And it's just such a full circle kind of thing. It's like Hayden. Nobody knows Anakin better than Hayden Christensen and George Lucas. Anakin is Hayden, and just like Hayden knows Anakin in and out because he played him for
And I
almost
love that he's
like
40.
5 or
I
10
hate
years.
to say this, but I'm going to bring it into the sequel trilogy. I feel the same way about Ben Solo. Adam Driver doing what he did, absolutely the
100%.
same. I feel like he played Kylo to a T. I remember when Force Awakens came out and they said, he's just acting like a little baby bitch. And I'm like, yeah. That's what he's doing. Like he's unsure of
character.
himself. He
Yeah.
doesn't know what he's doing. He's afraid, but he's like chasing power at the same time. And I felt like he did such a good job for that.
Oh, like
Can
100%.
I take a quick poll question for the
Missed
group that's here?
opportunity.
Got to ask 1 or 2 in the chat.
Okay, 1 or 2 in the chat, and then you guys here let me know. Was Han Solo slightly force sensitive?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, because based on your answers, I'm going to go down a little bit of a rabbit, just a little bit of a thing to keep
I'm
people.
gonna throw 1 for yes because
Okay, yes, I love
his ability to pilot is unmatched. And when they were going through the asteroid field and he was piloting the way he was, he got them through. I think he might be slightly force sensitive. And he was also very in tune with Rey and whatever's going on with her. He picked that up immediately.
And he knew where to be for Luke. Anytime Luke was in trouble, he kind of knew where to be. Oh, you're getting tracked by Vader. Let me turn around and shoot that X-wing down before he gets you, or that TIE fighter down before they get you. You know, I mean, well, the Guido shot. A lot of people say Guido shot first. Did Han do one of these numbers and like Anakin?
Right.
Oh, that one.
No way.
He was a little quick there.
No way. His reflexes are that in tune. Like completely. Like he knew it before it was coming.
Okay,
He
so
knew it was like a slight second.
is the consensus that he was a little force sensitive, or maybe force sensitive with no training because he was born as a scum rat?
I'm
Very
calling a little force sensitive, almost like the Chiss navigators, like the young women in the Chiss, like navigators, like a little force sensitive.
So
you don't
Ben
have to be a
Solo-
Jedi, but
Right.
you can have some midi-chlorians and be a little force sensitive.
So
I
Ben
think.
Solo is maybe like a true heir to the Force. Then technically, that's why he's so bratty, because his dad's got a little, his mom's got a lot, he's got a lot. Having a lot of power from a young age makes you a spoiled brat sometimes.
Keely, thoughts?
I mean, it's kind of off topic, but just what came to my mind. I just really wish I could have seen Leia like train as a Jedi. Like just being reminded that.
Yeah, we got
For more than 5
maybe
seconds.
5 seconds
Yeah.
in the entire thing when it was well known that she was the other chosen. There is another.
Yep.
She's the other half to the story, and we got none of it.
Pretty
Yeah.
heavily implied.
Which is sad.
Yeah, that bummed me out. My favorite part of the sequel trilogy is the two of them in training helmets when they're fighting in that storm at night.
Word was that Yoda wanted her trained, not Luke.
Mm-hmm.
That she had the more level head, that he was more Vader and she was more Anakin. Technically, Yoda wanted her trained because he was
beggars
watching
can't be
the
choosers.
Force. the whole time.
Timothy, what's your shot at this? What do you think? Did Yoda want Luke or Leia trained more?
I think Yoda didn't want anything to do with training anyone, and he was just kind of open to the Force. And when Luke landed on his planet, he was like, "All right, sure." I don't think Yoda was actively looking for anyone to train at all, personally.
Right.
Well, I mean, out of a coin, you got to flip. Eventually, one of them was going to be the chosen one. So, yeah, he wasn't.
I think if he had a choice, he probably would have picked Leia because, I mean, he saw what happened with Anakin.
Yeah, I think that Leia, but Leia was in the public eye. So, like, to take her, she's a senator. It wasn't easy to get access.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I think I didn't think he wanted anything to do with them.
Well, see, everybody says that Anakin was the chosen one and he's going to bring balance to the Force. I wonder, like they say, a prophecy misread we may have. Like, was Luke the chosen one or was Anakin the chosen one?
George Lucas has said that it's Anakin. Even when Anakin was Vader, he was the chosen one.
Okay, but why?
Luke was the catalyst.
Luke was the catalyst. He was the reason why there was balance brought to the Force.
I mean,
he
technically,
pulled Vader back.
Anakin did technically.
Yeah, but
the Emperor.
Anakin was still the chosen.
Yeah.
So technically, he did bring balance.
Anakin, I was literally watching the Revenge of the Sith behind the scenes, and George said that even when Anakin turns to Vader, he is still the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I'm on board with that. To me, that just makes Vader way more interesting. Like even after becoming this evil piece of shit, he is still this like the Jedi's chosen one, and he's still destined to destroy the Sith. I just like the idea of like, oh, it's not going to happen right away. Like the Jedi have to die in order for Vader to fulfill his destiny. Like, because technically he is bringing true balance to the galaxy if you really think about it.
But he didn't, according to canon now, he did not.
Yeah, because they changed it.
I really only look at 1 through 6 as like the kind of definitive ones.
Exactly. That's my safe space.
I'm not really gonna like merge over to the sequels because like they got a lot of things kind of like they retconned a lot of things, kind of just didn't do things according to like the way George would have done it and like the way that like it was. So it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick with 1 and 6, and that's what I'm gonna go off of because I feel like that's what makes the most sense. And
I have a question. I actually have something.
Go.
So, do you think Anakin, without being Darth Vader, could have still brought balance to the Force?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, the whole point of Palpatine, was that he knew Anakin was the chosen one. And I mean, the whole logic was like, yeah, well, I mean, the chosen one is like destined to basically destroy the Sith, so Palpatine wanted Anakin to be on his side, obviously.
And this is the interesting topic right here, that the prophecy does not define balance as Jedi
Brady
control.
makes a good point.
Yeah, and I mean that's the whole thing is that, and Yoda said it too, that we were clouded.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
The Jedi control was not, and
prophecy misread could have been.
Yeah, and the funny part is when you read like Plagueis or any of the other ones, they're saying like the Jedi had created a bubble of the light side around the universe, and they thought that that was balanced, but it was actually the most imbalanced the Force has ever been because it was all light and no dark.
Well, look at it this way: you have a Sith Lord destroy the Dark Lord of the Sith almost. Darth Vader comes back as Anakin at like the last possible second, and he just destroys Darth Sidious. I fully agree with the fact that the Jedi had such a bad misconception of the Force. They basically killed themselves. I'm not even gonna lie. They were the ones responsible for their own downfall, and it's because they were so clouded. They didn't. They were so sure of themselves that they didn't look at any other possible outcomes. They're like, no, this is the way. This is how it works. Nothing else. This is the way. Nothing else matters, and just that's why.
I agree with that. The Jedi were almost the Force was diluted for them. Yeah. If you really break it down, there were so many of them, and the Force was split between all of them, and that's why Palpatine was so powerful. Is he had all of it for the most part. He was giving Maul a little bit. He was giving, Dooku, oh, here's some Force lightning, give him a little bit. But really, he held all the chips. He never shared much of his knowledge with Vader. You never saw Vader doing some meditation stuff to open any portals or anything like that. I mean, yeah, he did some stuff like that in the comics. I don't want to give it away for X-Wing, but, Vader did some Dark Force stuff that he learned on his own. Like, Palps was like, oh, I'm going to teach you all this stuff. Didn't teach him nothing.
Right.
Wow.
He held him like the rule of two, one to crave and one to hold, basically, and the reason he put him in that suit with all the electronics was to be able to hold him back.
Yeah.
I think I got to go now. I got to sign off probably. I got to get up at like 7. It's almost 12.
Yeah,
Thanks so
I gotta
much for
take off
having me
too.
on, guys.
Absolutely.
I really
Bye, Aiden.
appreciate it.
That was great.
See you
Aiden.
guys.
Bye.
Good having you, bud.
All right.
Thanks
I
for
had a lot of
coming to the
fun.
Hangar Bay.
See ya.
No problem, man. I love being here.
All right, see ya.
I had a lot of fun, and peace
Green
out, everyone.
Squadron.
All right,
See you,
man.
man.
All right. See ya.
Yeah, so interesting go there. I think this is probably my favorite part of Star Wars to talk about is this balance and the deception and the movements between the light and the dark, between Palpatine and Anakin, and all the things that were happening in this pivotal moment between the Republic and the Empire. It all happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and that's what I keep saying about Ahsoka is that I think she's got more knowledge of the Force than even the Emperor. Right? She knows so much. That's a bold statement, but think about it. She spent 19 years in my world in a Sith temple. What she found in that Sith temple, what she learned in that Sith temple about the dark side, and she's knows about the light, but she admits she's no Jedi. So she knows an obsessive amount about the light, but for almost 20 years in my novel, in my head, she spent those 20 years in a Sith temple that had potentially unlimited knowledge. So
you think she's maybe studying Sith practices while staying on the path of neutrality?
Yeah, I think she is the true definition of gray.
Right.
I think Ahsoka in the last time we see her in Rebels, when she comes to pick up Sabine, I think that Ahsoka there is a seeker of justice.
True gray Jedi.
True gray. No, I mean, she slashed through people. She wasn't trying to negotiate with Thrawn's people to find out she was coming for blood, and that's not the Jedi way. Right. And so after all this time, I think that's why her attire is gray and why she is so aggressive, even when meeting Din Djarin. She struck first, asked questions later. She wasn't like Kenobi. She was more like Anakin, and I think that those years on Malachor really changed her. And I think that the Ahsoka we're going to see is going to be a little darker, a little not so
I felt like we got that in Mando, though.
Yeah,
she was definitely not as optimistic in the snips that we know.
Right, and I think that's 20
what I mean?
years sitting in a Sith temple, letting it not eat you alive.
Interesting. Okay, Strike. If you could just stop talking. I'm getting a little tired of hearing it all the time. If you just if you could cool it a little bit.
Sure.
You have
Germans.
some chatty people.
Yeah. Did you want to say?
You'll be all right. We're not going to be mad at you if you say something. Just let it go.
I don't want to I want to not get in the way. Yeah, no, I thought that like when Ahsoka was basically like talking, like when basically Mando asked Ahsoka like, yeah, okay, so you're gonna train him? Like, no, I'm not gonna train him. Like I've seen what like he's too old. and like the feelings that he has, he's guided by fear, and like that she has like seen this before in Anakin, and she has like basically PTSD from like this experience, like from the interaction with Vader where she almost gets killed. And yeah, so I really think that's pretty much that tells us that she's different now, that she has a totally different point of view on the Force, and she's not that like, yeah, Jedi good, Sith bad, but
right.
It's all about like the right thing.
Finding the balance.
Yeah.
The balance that the Jedi have spoken about for so long, that they said that they have, but in all reality, they have been completely blinded, and they're actually tipping the scales the other way.
Exactly. And I mean, also like in season 7 of the Clone Wars, like when there's the whole meeting with all the Jedi, and well, Ahsoka's basically like giving her input, and then Mace is like, well, yeah, this is Jedi Matter, citizen. Like, I mean, she did not get, like, she doesn't have that many, like, positive experiences with the Jedi Order, and, like, rightfully so. I mean, the Jedi were mostly, like, also to Anakin, they were, like, really, like, mean and not understanding at all.
Yeah, and her master was very much kind of like Qui-Gon Jinn. Like, I don't trust the council. I don't like what the council's doing. They seem, like they're just sucked into themselves.
Yeah, and that sometimes you gotta bend the rules to do the right thing.
Just like Qui-Gon.
And Aramal was asking about, if Qui-Gon would have been like Ahsoka. I honestly think Qui-Gon would have joined Dooku. I think he would have not necessarily become a Sith, but he would have definitely left the Order right about the time the war started, because he knew that it wasn't supposed to be like that. That's why he didn't want to sit on the council, because he knew it was bureaucratic. It wasn't what Jedi should aspire to be. They should aspire to be one with the Force, not commanding generals.
Right.
So I believe Dooku when he told Kenobi, your master would have joined me because I was his master, like you were, like he was yours. Like, I think he would have joined him because he
and that's like that's the cool part of the book I'm reading right now, Jedi and Master and Apprentice. Kenobi and Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon gets the official invitation to the council, and he's like, I should take it, I shouldn't take it, I should take it, I shouldn't take it. And Kenobi's all pissed off because he's like, you're gonna leave me? I'm 17 years old. Come on, man. And Qui-Gon's having this internal battle about, like, I don't really believe in the dogmatic views of the Jedi Council,
Yeah, I believe that Aramal, I believe that he would have been more of that neutral, not necessarily seeking the dark side, but not necessarily looking to push it aside either. I think Qui-Gon, much like Ahsoka, was knowledge. And that's funny that you actually say that, because that's kind of bookending Anakin's experience from start to finish. Qui-Gon's point of view, and then Ahsoka's point of view at the end. His would-be master and his final apprentice. But yeah, I mean, I think Qui-Gon definitely does the departing act and maybe becomes the 40 or 41st lost Jedi.
Right. In his mind.
Yeah, in my world.
Strike. Keely. This is some very deep stuff. This is like deep dive Star Wars
it's all
stuff.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what he said on that. I don't think Qui-Gon would have stayed once the clones and all that came in. I think he would have left the Order. I don't like he said, he wouldn't be evil or like join the Sith, but he would have said, this isn't what Jedi are supposed to do. This is what I signed up for. This isn't the right way.
Yeah. And I think like also like this shows like some Jedi, I think also like got a pretty like big sense of power. I mean, best like example is General Krell in On Umbara. I mean,
Screw that guy.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, he was like one of the more extreme examples. But I mean, there were a lot of Jedi that, like, I think enjoyed like having a platoon of clones under their command and having this special role. Like, I'm a Jedi. I have the Force. I am powerful. And I think that was very much like also like one of the big things that like, yeah, was not really the Jedi way anymore, and was
And
kind of driving.
it showed the weakness inside the Jedi Order. These
Yeah.
people, I mean, everybody saw them as infallible, but they were not. They were not infallible.
You know, like just like two Star Wars nerd. Yeah, Pon Krell. I mean, technically,
right.
I mean, he
I
didn't.
did not like him.
Technically, he would have been the 41st Lost Jedi. Technically, because I mean, basically, he was turning down the dark road right then.
Right.
You know, killing his own clones. You know, saying that the whole war was wrong. I mean, he was the 41st Lost Jedi, but
till he got scooted.
Hell, he got Order 66 before Order 66 was a thing.
They did it before it was cool.
Cypher First was always good at killing Jedi.
Rex had been ordering 66 since way back when.
Way back when. Okay, boys, it's boys and gals. I apologize. This is Star Wars Nerds. It's 2.5 hours. We've been going for 2.5 hours.
Awesome.
This is how awesome this community is, and I could keep going until 2:00 in the morning, but I do have to work tomorrow. So I apologize to cut the stream short at all. But I feel like we covered a lot of ground tonight.
Yeah, we did.
We've covered a lot of good stuff, from prequels to sequels to EU
Rebels.
to, I mean, everywhere.
Rebels.
We've been everywhere, man. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you for being a part of the Hangar Bay community. I mean, we're all here to talk. I hope you guys stick around for a few minutes after we shut off here so I can talk to you guys. But thank you for being here and being an awesome part of this community, man.
I'm just glad the missus was here for a change. The mister's in the back doing the work.
I know. I'm so sick of him. I really hope he grows that mustache back, though. Can we get an official? Can we get an official from Keely? What do you think about the mustache? Because you're going to hear it here first on X-Wing. You like it?
People always ask me that. I'm like, I think he looks good either way. So whatever he wants to do, I'm for
legendary
it.
mustache.
Yes,
True.
he does. He
Not
gets
gonna lie.
like when he had it, we would go to like a drive-through, and the cashier would comment on it. Like everywhere we go, people comment on his mustache. So yeah, it's pretty well known.
Well,
did he use wax?
Here we go.
Special wax on it?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Those sweet mustaches like that requires a good waxing.
Well, I think that's going to be it for the Hangar Bay tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. We had like 20 plus people in here since the start, which is awesome. I can't believe people just want to like sit here and talk about Star Wars like this, but you do, and we love you. I appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you so much to everybody that came on. Strike, obviously, you're our new mid-captain for Green. Yes.
Awesome.
That's my big boy. Gold Squadron is getting repped by Keely, the amazing Mrs. Star Wars Nerd. And if anybody has not already gone and subscribed, please go to 2 Star Wars Nerds, subscribe them. They're a friend of the channel. The Star Wars Obsession is a huge friend of the channel. I want to thank you, buddy, so much for what you've done. Nobody knows yet, but we will make it apparent very soon. They're all partners of the channel, so please go subscribe. I mean, here's the bottom line. We're all friends.
Yeah.
Fair?
Fair.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, everybody jumping in whenever there's a stream going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's nice to you see who's coming around and who's trying to support everybody. So yeah, I mean that just needs to continue. I think we need to just continue to invite the big guys on here, and one of these days they're just going to surprise us and show up. But yeah, I mean, I think we just keep supporting each other,
Mhm.
and that's keep making it fun. Because
Yeah.
when it stops being fun, that's when you don't want to do it anymore. So
Right.
yeah, just everybody keep doing what you're doing in the Discord and supporting everybody.
Yeah.
We'll leave it on that, man. We're all here for each other. We're all here to build each other up and enjoy this experience and be nerds together. So don't stop doing what you're doing. I'm X-Wing. I'm out. You guys
Keep it real.
See ya.
See
have
you
a good
later.
night.